Wait, Trump? Roundtable on Antifa?
Thank you very much.
Okay, this is the good shit right here, Chad. This is the good shit.
People from the Middle East, Arab people, and other people on the potential peace deal for the Middle East. Peace for the Middle East. It's a beautiful phrase, and we hope it's going to come true, but it's very close. And they're doing very well. We have a great team over there, great negotiators, and there are unfortunately great negotiators on the other side also. But it's something I think that will happen, got a good chance of happening. I may go there sometime toward the end of the week, maybe on Sunday, actually, and we'll see. But there's a very good chance negotiations are going along very well. We're dealing with Hamas and many of the countries. As you know, we have Muslim, all of the Muslim countries are included, all of the Arab countries are included, very rich countries and some that are not so rich, but just about everybody's included. It's never happened before. Nothing like that's happened before. And our final negotiation, as you know, is with Hamas. And it seems to be going well. So we'll let you know. If that's the case, we'll be leaving probably on Sunday, maybe Saturday, maybe a little later than Saturday evening, but that seems to be our schedule. It should be clear to all Americans that we have a very serious left-wing terror threat in our country. Radicals associated with the domestic terror group Antifa that you've heard a lot about lately, and I've heard a lot about them for 10 years.
Can't wait to see the frogs air humping in Portland. It's the least of our worries. Thank you, Fredman. Thank you.
And other far-left extremists have been carrying out a campaign of violence against ICE agents and other officials charged with enforcing federal law.
I saw people were really upset at apparently they were shooting rubber bullets from like rooftops. I don't know if that's real, but like, I saw Toto was really upset about it.
Chicago anarchists have surveilled at least 4 local ICE facilities and posted diagrams of the buildings online, meaning nothing but bad, accompanied by photos of specific ICE agents that they're targeting, one in particular who's a top person and a great patriot. In July, approximately a dozen Antifa-aligned militants stormed the ICE facility in Texas and then lured officers out of the building before firing dozens of rounds at police. They were crazy, frankly.
Did they die?
Shooting one Texas officer in the neck. And in Portland, Oregon, Antifa thugs have repeatedly attacked our officers and laid siege to federal property in an attempt to violently stop the execution.
Do you know about the Doll Squad, a left-wing death squad based out of what? What the fuck? What is going on? Oregon Antifa group, the Doll Squad, a paramilitary trans group, dude. Is this real? Is this real? I think this is like some kind of Marvel LARPing shit. Like, what is this? Doll Squad operating in Eugene, Antifa-like groups ambushing. Oh, what the fuck? Trans-identifying paramilitary group. What the fuck?
Of federal law. Everything we're doing is very lawful. What they're doing is...
Shoxus says the simulation is running out of RAM. Dude, it totally seems like an AI hallucinating, doesn't it? It feels like we are living in like a simulated, like AI created world, and the AI is schizoing out, basically. That's what it feels like.
It's not lawful. And what the governor and the mayor of, as an example, you could say of Portland, and you could say certainly of Chicago, it's not lawful what they're doing. They have to be very careful. In addition, 2 weeks ago, a radical left terrorist in Dallas conducted a sniper attack on a local ICE facility, killing 2 people and leaving behind a note that read, "Hopefully this will give ICE agents some real terror." That's
oh
bad.
My God, dude.
This attack came the very same month that Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a far-left extremist who inscribed the words, "Hey, fascist, catch," meaning catch the bullet, onto the bullet shelf itself. The epidemic of left-wing violence and Antifa-inspired terror has been escalating for nearly a decade. At universities, Antifa has organized riotous mobs to attack campus speakers. I see it all the time. And these are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid. And you'll find that out. You'll be finding it out very soon. You should see what we have on these people. These are bad people. These are
Paid
people that want to
actors.
destroy our country. We're not going to let it happen. They've used armed gangs to assault local police
Yes,
in
Saber
cities
Nero, thank you.
nationwide, and they've attacked journalists
Thanks
reporting
for 10.
on their
Thank you.
crimes. So the journalists that report on their crimes, don't worry, you're very safe. I hope that's not going to turn you around, but they have been very threatening to people, but we're going to be very threatening to them, far more threatening to them than they ever were with us, and that includes the people that fund them. Probably some of the people I know, some of the people I dine with, but if they do, they're in deep trouble. So we're going to be looking very strongly at the people that are funding these operations. When you see the signs, and they're all made out of a beautiful, beautiful paper, beautiful, nice,
Yo,
stiff, very
thank you,
expensive
man.
paper with beautiful wood handles, all the same color. They come from very expensive printing machines. These are not people that write out their signs in a basement that believe in something. These are paid anarchists. At least 3 of these courageous journalists have personally been victims of Antifa attacks. Andy Ngo has been repeatedly beaten by Antifa thugs for his work.
Dude, that guy has gotten his ass kicked so many times. It's actually crazy that he just keeps going. Dude's a fucking beast, man. Like, for
Andy
real.
is a very serious person, too, I have to tell you. I've been watching him for a long time. Is Andy here? That's what I thought. Hello, Andy. I thought that was you. You're looking better than you do out on those streets, huh? Look much better. It's nice to have you. You feel a little safer here, I think, maybe. Well, not that safe, because you have them. You have to worry about.
Holy shit, dude. Dude, Trump cannot stop talking shit about the media. It's actually fucking hilarious. Like, every single time. Guys, I said it before. I'm going to say it again. I honestly love this. I love how he talks to people. And, like, I know a lot of people hate it. They're like, oh, he's not professional enough. I love it. This is the best. I love the president just speaking plainly. I don't care about the whole statesmanly like thing. I don't care. I just like it that he's playing, that he's saying things plainly, very, like, in a relatable way, right? I like it. I love it.
Thank you very much. Andy Ngo has been repeatedly beaten by Antifa, and including one assault that left him with a brain hemorrhage. Only days ago, Nick Sortor was assaulted in Portland by a flag-burning mob, and we've made it 1-year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. They've never seen anything like it on both sides, and you end up with riots. So we're going on that basis. We're looking at it not from the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts. This is what they do, is they incite. When you burn an American flag, you incite tremendous violence. We have many examples of it, many examples of it, and it's actually down on tape, and you see things happen that just don't happen.
You all know what they should do? You all know what they should do, chat? They should just burn their flags back. They should get all the flags that they get. And, like, whenever they go to these things, they should just have them at the ready. And anytime they burn an American flag, they should just bring out their flags and burn, like, at least 2 for every 1 American flag that they burn. Yeah. And see how they feel about it. Are they going to get violent about it? Let's see.
Unless it's the flag that's burning. Very recently, Katie Davis Court was hit in the face with a flagpole in Portland by an Antifa radical, leaving her with a very blackened eye. So, Katie, thank you very much.
I'm serious. You got like one of those. You got one of those like those. You got one of those like pro illegal immigrant people with like the Mexican flag. Burn the Mexican flag. When they burn the American flag, burn one of those. If they're gonna do like the Palestine thing, burn that too. They're gonna do the trans flag, burn that too. Anytime they burn an American flag, we burn 3 flags. Three of their flags that they're carrying, we burn 3 of them.
And I'd like to also say that I watched Nick. Where's Nick? Is Nick here? Nick? Hi, Nick. That was a rough time you went through. I watched.
Because, and I've talked about this before, when they burn the American flag, even though it's freedom of speech, it's basically, it's insane disrespect. And it's, how do I explain it? It's disrespect for the country these people claim to want to be in. Because if they're gonna burn the American flag, then just fucking leave. Like, we really do need a program. I'm just being honest. We need a program where like, if they hate America so bad, they can opt in and we'll ship them to like wherever they want. We'll ship them to like Antarctica, wherever the fuck. We should do that. Like I would pay for it. It would be in our best interest to pay for it, to be honest. They could even have a little bit of pocket change, nice first class flight, and we just ship them to wherever.
You got my little note? I wrote you a note.
I really appreciated that. It helped a lot because it was a difficult situation. It was very stressful.
100%. By the way, and there's no way you can say it's unfair because it's 100% opt-in. They say, oh, I hate America, I want to leave. All right, then get the fuck out. And then we put them on the plane, and you know, yeah, they opt into it, right? Look, I'm so nice, dude. I'm so nice. I'm helping them. I'm helping them with what they want, right? Friederman, thank you so much for the bits.
It helped a lot. I truly appreciate it.
I thought it was terrible, actually. I thought it was terrible. So we'll talk about it a little bit. Under the last administration, the Department of Justice targeted faithful Catholics, Christians, and patriotic parents as domestic extremists. They said, oh, they're
all the flags. No, it's whatever flag they fly.
Because they believe in God.
It's whatever flag they fly. Whatever flag is important to them. That's the one that we burn, basically. It's a counter burning of whatever they stand for, basically. That way they know what it feels like.
They're extreme because they go to Catholic church or evangelicals, where everybody was under the gun. Unless you are a really bad, sick person, then they...
You guys gotta leave this alt-right echo chamber. I'm moderate, so if you think I'm alt-right, you're fucked, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
I left you alone. Under the Trump administration, we're going after Antifa criminals, and all who fund and support their campaigns are in serious trouble. And we have a lot of records already, a lot of surprises, a lot of bad surprises. It's people that you would never think. I want to thank Attorney General Pam Bondi, who, by the way, yesterday was incredible in Congress. It was amazing, and she just did it from the heart.
I'm center. I just love America, and I recognize that it's disrespect to burn our flag. Because if they want to be here, they shouldn't be burning our flag. Because the flag represents all of us Americans, and by them burning it and putting disrespect, stepping on the flag and stuff like that, it's basically a big fuck you to us. So what I'm saying is like, okay, well then fuck you too, basically. That's what I'm saying. I think it's perfectly reasonable.
And the brain, because she's very smart, in all fairness. But she did it from the heart, and she did it an incredible... Everybody was talking about it. She exposed...
And also, just to say, alt-right echo chamber, I disagree with almost... I disagree with like 80% of chat on like trans stuff and gay stuff. So it's not really an echo chamber. We disagree about stuff all the time.
Some of these fake senators, these terrible senators, people like Blumenthal that had a phony war record. For 20 years, he talked about it, what a hero he was, and it turned out he never went to Vietnam. For 20 years, he talked about being a hero in Vietnam. Then it was exposed.
He roached out. They always do.
When he said what platoon he was with, and it was exposed that somebody was watching from that particular platoon. They said he was never with us. And then he went out and he cried and he was ready to drop out of the election.
It's kind of crazy to me that like the instant you kind of are like fed up and you put your foot down after all of the disrespect, it's like, oh, you're a bad person now. When like I've put up with so much bullshit from these people. Yes, I do take it as a personal offense when you burn the American flag. Yes, I do. And now that I finally am standing up and saying, you know what, fuck you too then. If you're gonna burn the American flag, then fuck you. And, oh, like I'm being alt-right. I'm being an alt-right. I'm being like a bad person because I finally said something bad instead of like, oh, you know, it's okay. It's your freedom of speech. Oh, you burn my flag. It's okay. I still love you. We're all a part of the same country. That is your right of freedom of expression.
And
The instant I stopped doing that, and I'm like, you know what? All right, fuck you then. Oh my God, you're such a bad person.
disgraceful. And then he looks at people like Pam and he starts criticizing her, and she's a patriot.
But burn out on the trans flag that they'll come for you. Yeah, and the funny thing is I'm not even against trans stuff. I'm not even against trans stuff. If the person is wielding a trans flag and then they burn the American flag, I burn their flag just out as a counter burning, basically, just so that they know what I'm talking about. I'm not even burning it on principle. I'm burning it literally as a counter burning, as to be like, well, how does it feel when I burn your flag? Do you know what it's like? Here it is. I'll show you what it's like. Has nothing. I have nothing to do with that. I'm literally just whatever their flag is, I burn that. It's literally an Uno reverse card. Yeah, exactly.
Do something with that. You know, we have a young congressman that's right now in jail.
It's about sending a message.
Lying about where he went to college and other things. It was, you know, frankly not good. It was pretty bad. But it was nothing compared to Blumenthal. I mean, what Blumenthal did, he was for 20 years a hero, a great war hero. And then he sits back and, you know, sanctimonious kind of a guy, looks down, how dare you do this to the American public, you know? What a fake. But I thought Pam was incredible yesterday, as well as Secretary Christie Noem, who's really out there courageously, and I appreciate it, Christie, amazing.
And here's the thing, right? Is like, if they get mad, then, well, how do you think we feel? There it is. That what you're feeling right now, that's how I feel when you burn the American flag. So you want to fucking knock it off? How about we can both knock it off? I'm okay with that.
Doing FBI Director Kash Patel, who's really coming up with some great information, Kash. It's great. Keep it coming because there's plenty of it. Deputy Attorney General, one of the best lawyers you'll ever find. Todd Blanche, who I know personally is a good...
Guys, this has been, like, I'm going to be real. Sorry, I know I'm pausing again. I'm going a little bit on a tangent, but I'm gonna be real. It has been incredibly irritating. I want to say the last 2 years have been incredibly irritating, and I'll explain why. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. I feel like a lot of us have been really fucking nice, really fucking patient with the whole world, really. I don't even just mean these people, I mean the whole world. And the instant we ask for even a little bit of respect is the instant they flip out on us. No matter what it is. Oh, tariffs. Yeah, you know what? You guys tariff us. So how about equal? How about we tariff you the same amount you tariff us? And then they throw a fit. They throw an absolute fucking psycho fit. Like we're the worst. Like America's the worst. Fuck America. We literally said reciprocal tariffs of the same amount. And they can't even do that. The instant you ask for equal treatment, they flip out. They'll flip the fuck out and go insane. And it drives me nuts. Just the sheer amount of disrespect, the sheer amount of like them just saying like, yeah, America, just fucking take it. Yeah, America, get down on your knees, keep sucking the dick. Keep sucking the dick and just take it. Just take all of it. Take all of the world's dicks. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. Oh, like, yeah, keep giving us money, America. Keep giving us money. Yeah, we need money for this. We need money for that. But what about this? What about this? And then they're smug about it. They turn around and they go, oh my God, we have such good healthcare. Our healthcare's like so good. And it's like, bro, you don't pay for that much military shit. And you want to fucking brag to us that shit's fucked up with us? We're literally fucking carrying, bros. We're literally fucking carrying. And all of these people are acting like smug assholes all the time. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. So yeah, maybe I'm not being nice anymore. Yeah, maybe we won't be nice anymore.
lawyer because I'm here. Thank you very much, Shad. Good job.
You just described Israel. I'm not exclude. I never excluded Israel from anything. Same thing with them. Same thing with like literally the entire world. And then you want to talk about like at home? You want to talk about domestically with all of the criminal dick sucking? The criminal worship, the criminal like, oh, we need to help the illegal immigrants. Oh, we got people dying of fentanyl in Middle America. Fuck you. We don't give a shit. And I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with it, and they do not respect. They do not respect the American citizens. We should be the benefactors of all of the things that we create, all of the money that we make, all of the taxes we pay. We should be the benefactors of that. And these fucking cunts keep taking our money, and then when we tell them, "Hey, stop taking our money," they flip out on us, and it's infuriating. That's my rant.
Let me ask Attorney General Bondi to say a few words, and then we'll follow it up with Secretary Noem and Director Patel. And we're going to have some of the people around the table, very courageous people, and they're going to be talking, journalists, almost all, and they're going to be talking, and we'll take some questions from the press at the end. Okay, Pam, please.
Thank you, President Trump. And as you made clear, Antifa is a domestic left-wing terrorist organization. We've seen them on video for years because they wanted to be seen and they got away with it. They beat journalists, they attack courthouses, they attack police stations, they dox and assault our law enforcement officers. The Biden administration let them commit these crimes with total impunity for years. So did Democrat leaders like Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson. Last week, independent journalist Nick Sorter.
I would honestly like to know what you think about to achieve with these doctrines. At the end of the day, the average American person says, "Where's my money?" I don't know what you mean, Finnerman. Thank you, though.
Was arrested just for protecting himself against Antifa. I saw it online and I called Nick. I couldn't believe what happened. He did all this just trying to save our American flag from being burned. He was pushed down and assaulted, yet the local police arrested Nick, not the Antifa thugs who did this to him. Antifa feels empowered to operate in the open because weak Democrats have turned a blind eye to their actions. Their hatred for President Trump and for law and order agendas fuels their violence.
Holy fuck, I just remembered about the whole thing too with like the World Health Organization and the fact that like we paid so much money into that and then they're just like sucking China's dick the whole time. Holy fuck, man.
We've seen more than 1,000.
I'm just tired of this cuck shit, dude. I'm just so tired of it.
1,000% increase in attacks against our ICE agents since January 20th. Secretary Noem is out there fighting for you firsthand to keep our federal officers safe, to keep our federal buildings safe, and we're not going to have it anymore, these thugs. We saw what's happening in Portland and Chicago, and you saw what happened in Dallas. No longer. This is not activism, it's anarchy. We can't.
Nice to see you wake up, dude. I'm just tired of like being told I'm a bad person, being called a fascist and a Nazi. They don't even know what fascist means. And also the Nazis, you know, they're not even conservative, right? What the fuck are we talking about? Go watch World War II in color or something.
And we will not let masked terrorists burn our buildings, attack our law enforcement, and intimidate our communities. Under your leadership, President Trump, we're deploying the full might of the federal law enforcement to crack down on Antifa and other domestic terrorist organizations led by Stephen.
Guys, I'm tired of them calling me a bad person, them saying all this shit about America while they're literally stepping on our heads. It is so fucking irritating. I just want to give them the double barrel middle finger, basically. That I'm done. I'm done with just saying, okay, sorry, what can I do to make it better? Oh, sorry, I played the wizard game. What can I do to make it better? Sorry.
Miller and Stephen, thank you for everything you're doing.
And then guys, holy shit, I'm so sorry. I'm going on such a tangent. And then they're gonna be like, they're gonna shoot a person who's not even radical. They're gonna celebrate it. And then they're gonna say, can we all calm down now? What? Can we? What is this we? What the hell are you talking about?
Last week, I issued a memo ordering our federal law enforcement agents, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, and ATF to protect ICE
This is the
officers.
content I love from Leaf. Honestly, I hate it. I honestly, I hate it. I hate being this mad. Just being real. It's like, it doesn't feel good, you know?
From Antifa and other radical left-wing violence. Director Patel has been going non-stop. He and Deputy Attorney General Blanche.
It's just irritating, like having people like be like, oh, you know, having people coming here and be like, oh, like you're alt-right or whatever, when like, dude, I am so fucking moderate that I get criticism from people that are like more conservative. It's just like, yo, if you're gonna call me alt-right, you're cooked. Like, you're absolutely cooked. You've completely lost the plot.
We're in Chicago yesterday. While Secretary Noem was in Portland, we are around this country fighting against this domestic terrorism. We had Apple and Google take down the ICE block apps. Hope they continue to comply with that. It's threatening the safety of our federal law enforcement officers. We're not going to stop at just arresting the violent criminals we can see in the streets. Fighting crime is more than just getting the bad guy off the streets. It's breaking down the organization brick by brick. Just like we did with cartels, we're going to take the same approach, President Trump, with Antifa. Destroy the entire organization from top to bottom. We're going to take them apart.
I wonder how many FBI informants are in leftist terror cells and don't actually report them to the FBI. I don't know, but like it's kind of weird how a lot of like really obviously preventable stuff keeps happening. It's kind of weird. Dude, these people have completely lost the plot. Like, how calling for like open borders, abolish the police, full amnesty immigration. I keep having like this like epiphany, but I feel like I have it all the time. I feel like I have it all the time nowadays, where I'm just like, why do I even care what they say? Because it's so bullshit. It's so bullshit. Fucking Zoltrak, man. That's Zoltrak.
Thanks to your bold leadership and the designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization, which is exactly what they are, Americans will no longer tolerate their unhinged violence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pam. Christine.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for hosting.
Oh my God, dude. I'm just thinking about it more. We went from, holy fuck. We went from gay weddings. We should let people get married because they're gay. We went from that to like, we gotta have kids participating in pride parades and doing drag shows and having drag kings like striptease for kids. To like them having books in school about sucking dick. We went from trans people should be able to go to the doctor, go through years of therapy to find out if they're actually trans, to like being able to get whatever they need and then get that taken care of. And then when all that is vetted, okay, now you can use the women's restroom. To you can say whatever you want whenever you want. If you wake up in the morning and you decide that that's what you are, then that's what you are. If you're about to go to jail and you're a man, you can say, well, I'm a woman now, and then go to a women's jail. We went from safe, legal, and rare to fuck yeah, we just killed a bunch of babies. Feels good, baby. Abortion is a great thing. It's liberating. We went from the police are being there's a couple police that are a little bit too much, and we need to like monitor the police and put badge cams on them, to like just disband the entire police department. Holy fuck, how did this happen? How did this happen? And when oh my god, bro. And when it was all happening, it was like, guys, this is gonna, you had the Republicans. I'll tell you now, this is gonna be a slippery slope. No, man, no, slippery. Nah, dude. What are you talking about? Slippery slope. No, it's not. Fucking Obama. Marriage? It's between a man and a woman. Obama. How did this happen? How did I go from supporting my trans friend to being literally Hitler? Literally alt-right Nazi fascist. And people actually believe it. How did this happen? Yeah, racist too. Yeah, guys, there's a murder problem in the black community. I don't really want black people to die. Can we figure this out? Racist. Holy fuck. Holy fuck.
Today and focusing on Antifa and the terrorists that they are. Let's not make any mistake. These individuals do not just want to threaten our law enforcement officers, threaten our journalists, and the citizens of this country. They want to kill them. Their agenda is to destroy the American people and our way of life, and this president is standing in their way. He is stopping them from bringing their death and their destruction to the individual citizens in this country that just want to raise their kids and their grandkids in peace and in safety. I want to also thank everyone around this table for being so bold and so brave, for standing up and recognizing the threat that...
You guys know how many of my friends unfollowed me, chat? Do you know? Do you know how many streamers unfollowed me? A lot of my streamer friends, ones I hung out with, a lot of them. A lot of them did. So yesterday I saw a tweet from a friend and I wanted to check their profile. So I clicked on it and I noticed they weren't following me anymore. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was like, I wonder how many people I follow unfollowed me. So I went through my follows last night. There's a lot. And a lot of people I thought we were really friends. Like I thought, you know, we hung out. I supported them a lot. I told my community to watch them. And they don't like me anymore. I didn't know that. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's a little shocking, I guess. Some of them are gun people too. Like gun people. It's so weird. Yeah, I don't know. Darth and Joe, thank you for the bits. This is the fault of an attempt to turn America into a melting pot nation, to a multicultural utopia. You can't allow cultures to exist in our vacuums except cooperation like in the past. Well, I think everyone that comes to America should want to be a part of America. And America should be the first thing. That should be the first culture that you adopt. Anything else is secondary, in my opinion. There are laws, you can do better. No, I know what, guys. I know I can. I know it's fine. It's fine. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, it happens and you're just kind of shocked, right? But I got over it really fast. But like, that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, right? Because you think about all of those people and like, yeah, I hung out with that person. You know, I used to hang out with that person all the time. That person I collabed with, that, you know, because I don't do that to people. Guys, I had one of my friends who was cheering the Trump thing when Trump got shot. They were cheering. And they messaged me later. Because I posted something about, I posted like, oh yeah, I'm like really I think this is terrible. I think all the people like all the people saying that they're terrible, right? It's just an awful thing to say. And this person like messaged me later and was like, yeah, you know, sorry about that. You know, I was just kind of being retarded. I was like, oh, it's fine. I think it's a terrible thing, but you know, it's all good. I didn't unfollow them for that. I don't know, man. I feel like a fucking alien. Feel like an alien from fucking outer space.
Antifa is to our way of life. By recognizing how advanced they are, how sophisticated their networks are, how they've infiltrated our entire country, and we're seeing them play out with their tactics from city to city.
I hate getting emotional, man. I hate it.
Out their funding mechanisms. And sir, I also want to thank our Treasury Secretary.
You know what the emotion is? It's is that the right word? Let me make sure I'm using the word correctly. I'm pretty sure it's the right word though. Indignation. You guys know the word indignation? That's how I feel.
For his work and getting to the bottom of these funding mechanisms and individuals who are perpetuating this violence on our American.
Hey, Arcasia, thank you so much. Thank you. You said I love you today. Of course you're an alien. Thank you, Arcasia.
I was in Portland yesterday and had the chance to visit with the governor of Oregon and also the mayor. They're in town and they are absolutely covering up the terrorism that is hitting their streets. While you talked about some of the stories of our ICE agents, our Border Patrol agents, how they have been attacked, how they have been shot at, injured,
Thanks, Iron Tiger,
the damage
man.
that
Thank you
they've
so
done,
much.
these leaders in these local cities, along with Pritzker and Johnson, ignore what's going on, or, sir, they're helping
Man,
us.
I got literally one guide, man. Again. I got one guide into like a fucking tangent that just went right off a cliff.
Antifa, cover it up. We have.
Well, the thing is like I'm like the kind of person where I bottle stuff up a lot. And it's like I hold it in for like a really long time, and then it's just all kind of came out at one time. It was when like max capacity, it just exploded, you know? And it's like lately, like I feel like the outlets for that, like there's like a tank of bullshit that you can like contain, right? And it's like I feel like the vent isn't like big enough compared to the amount of bullshit coming in that so it just explodes, right? It just like reaches like a critical. Yeah, you fit triggered, man.
Arrested dozens of individuals that are Antifa members or affiliated with them, and I want to thank our Attorney General for prosecuting them and making sure they never see the light of day again. They have been so bold in making sure we're bringing those individuals to justice. One of the individuals we arrested recently in Portland.
If you're kind of more, oh yo, hey, what's up, Dosto? If you're like kind of newer here, you might not know like this story. It's kind of it's not really that long. It's like I don't want to go too far into it, but I had I had this person who I met through I met through a friend, and they asked me to do some stuff for them. And it was like not really in my best interest. Like it was like kind of a waste of my time, just being real. But since they were like a friend of a friend, I agreed to it, right? And so I did it, and like I'm really busy because I'm doing like the company, and I'm also doing like um I'm also doing like the game, right? The tabletop game. I'm working on that as well. And this is when Hogwarts Legacy came out, man. And I've always been a huge Harry Potter fan, so excited to play Hogwarts Legacy. And so anyway, I helped this person with their thing, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, and like kind of was in their little group for a bit, right? I found out later that and this is because another friend told me. Another friend sent me logs, like chat logs basically, of like this collab Discord server with like VTubers. And dude, they were like mad. They were like talking mad shit about me. They were talking about how transphobic I was. I was like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, she's like so transphobic. I can't believe she's playing Hogwarts Legacy and that she supports J.K. Rowling. She's like literally the worst. And like, ew, I'm just gonna have to unfollow her, man. And I was like, really? It's like, after I helped you with that thing, like, don't you know me as a person? Like, okay, I'm gonna say one more thing. I'm gonna drop this, okay? But content creators are the fucking worst. You guys know that Tech Tone video where he was talking about like streamers and shit? The fucking worst. The fucking worst. And I'm just being 100% honest and real right now. It's the fucking worst. Holy shit.
Was the girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa, and that we are hoping that as we go after her, interview her.
I had people who were my friends. So once I started talking about, oh my god, bro, this is the worst tangent. This is the worst fucking tangent. I've had friends who, by the way, openly talked about political stuff. Oh yeah, fuck Trump, he's the worst, whatever, right? These people, right? And I never talked about that stuff. Well, I did. I did, but like, oh my god, guys, I had oh my god, dude, I'm gonna explain to you, dude. I'm gonna spill some fucking shit right now, okay? So back in the day, like this was like 2019, 2020, okay? I would talk about politics late at night. So I never really talked about, I didn't really react to like stuff. I talked about politics late at night. So we'd be playing like a game, like, you know how I play like Marvel or something like that, right? We'd be playing a game, and just, you know, whenever we're walking around, we would just talk about politics, right? Oh, this is stupid. Oh, blah, 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 this happened. And we'd be talking about that. But I never talked about it at the beginning of the stream, right? So like, you know, I talk about it at the beginning of the stream now, and I watch videos. I didn't do that before. It was like late. So it was like at the end of the stream instead. And all of these people, all of these friends who would just openly talk about politics all the time, bitching about Trump, bitching about this and that and that. I didn't say anything. I never said anything. Whatever, you know, I disagree, whatever. Once I started to talk more about it on main, well, before I lost my place in the story. Now, there is a group of, there were like people, it was really weird. It was like, if you met another content creator that was like conservative, it'd be like, hey, hey, Jack, thank you so much for the gift subs. Thank you. Hey, that Trump though, right? You kind of testing the waters. And then you find out oh, okay, you like Trump too? Let me invite you to this underground like fucking chat. We had like fucking a chat called Wrong Think Tank. And it was a bunch of like kind of like it was a bunch of like streamers that basically like were secret fucking conservatives, right? Yeah, we had to have our secret little groups, right? Like it's like, yeah, meet me on the bridge, the path where the six semper tyrannis, right? It's like it's just yeah, like the fucking Order of the Phoenix. Yeah, exactly. Oh man. But anyway, so when I started to talk more about political stuff, this was when did I start doing that more? It was when I started doing more React stuff. This was before Trump, but like, so before Trump got elected, I was doing like light political, not like heavy political, like kind of light political stuff, right? So, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk more about politics because like I like talking about it. You can ask my mom. I always watched. I watched Asmongold. I watched Benny. I watched Dan Bongino. Like I was always like watching political stuff, right? And, you know, like I would watch like Andrew Wilson, Destiny Debates, Warren. I'd watch like all of that, right? And I remember, dude, my friends. My friends said to my face, they told me, Leaf, you're never gonna get anywhere. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, because you liking that stuff and you talking about that stuff, you're never gonna make it. Yeah, bro. I told my mom about it. I didn't tell anyone else though. I'm way bigger than them now.
And prosecute her, we will get more and more information about the network and how we can root them out and eliminate them from the existence of American society. I want to thank the new journalists here today for telling their stories and for being able and willing to go to the streets and to cover what's happening here in America. Many times the legacy media has looked the other way, refused to tell the stories. The networks have not really focused on what this is and what damage it is doing to our country, and how this network of Antifa is just as sophisticated as MS-13, as TDA, as
Does
ISIS.
the secret Discord still exist? There's like people that are non-streamers in it now. It used to be only streamers, but there's some non-streamers in there now. Sometimes we talk, but not really as much as we used to. It's funny too. Oh my god, like the other funny thing is too is because you know how I'm a game developer, and I used to make I used to work in the industry, not like right now I do like tabletop, like my own projects, but before I used to work in the industry, there was shit like that too for the industry. So like I have friends at I had friends at like EA and shit like that. Which one is was it EA? Does EA do the Star Wars games? I think it's EA. I had friends at EA who are like, we would meet up on VR chat and they'd be like, yeah, you want to hang out on VR chat? And we would just sit in like a room and they'd be like, oh my God, dude, everyone at my company, dude, I can't have them knowing that I like Trump, dude, they're fucking crazy. And like, they would talk about how like, just how fucking crazy people were at these companies. And like I have other friends, like artist friends, we would do the same thing, meet up in VR chat and talk about like It's just funny. It's always like some underground shit, you know? It's like you live in LA, it's isolating to be a conservative. Dude, that too, man. I was like always just surrounded by leftists, dude. I'm just being real. Like, always, man. Especially because like a lot of my brother's friends were like from Hollywood, like in the like kind of entertainment industry. Just always surrounded by it, you know? Got to pick your friends better. Uh, you want to know the truth, Sayla? I'm retarded. That's the truth. I'm not really a social person. I'm not. I'm really. I know it doesn't seem like it on stream. But I'm like really introverted, and I'm bad. I'm just bad at like. I'm bad at human interaction, cause I've always been kind of super nerdy, like shut in, and I don't like going outside. I get scared when I meet new people. I've always been like that kind of person. So it's like I'm just bad at like I'm bad at like social interactions. So I'm just retarded. And I think the problem is like as a person, I'm very and you guys ever played Phantom Brave? I'm like Morona, dude. I'm like, I'm like, if I'm nice to these people and I help them, they'll help me too. They'll be nice to me too. As long as I'm nice to them and I do my best to help them out, they'll be nice to me too. It's fucking wrong. It's just wrong, dude.
As Hezbollah, as Hamas, as all of them. They are just as dangerous. They have an agenda
It's a story. It's a story about like it's a girl who she has like this really spooky ability, and she lives on this island with ghosts, and she can see ghosts and she can interact with ghosts. And she was like, I'm gonna go to different islands and I'm gonna help them with their problems. And if I'm nice to them and I treat them like friends, they'll treat me like a friend and they'll like me too. And then it's just the entire story is her doing that and then getting shitted on and betrayed. And then she goes to the next island and she does the same thing. And then she gets shitted on and betrayed. It's the whole fucking plot. Double T in the morning. Thank you so much for the bits. Thank you.
destroy us, just like
Yeah,
the other
Ghost
terrorists
Freak.
we've dealt with for many, many years. And today is the day that we have a president that won't tolerate it and will stand up and fight for the American people. So thank you for.
But like, don't worry about me. I have really good friends now. I know who. You want to know the best thing about all of this is I know who my friends are now. I know for sure now who my friends are.
Being here, for being so bold, and for standing in the gap at such a time as this. It will matter, it will make a difference, and your life will be one of significance because of what you've done today. So with that, God bless you, and thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cash, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the American people gave you a sweeping mandate in your victory in this election cycle, and they demanded safety and security for our citizens.
Sorry guys, I
And your
ranted kind of really
administration, with your
hard.
leadership-
I don't even know what the fuck is going on in this video anymore. I ranted like so hard. I used you guys for therapy. I'm so sorry. Tsunami, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you. My best friend was like, you MAGAing during Trump won. If you keep addressing me as a group instead of talking as individuals, we won't get along for long. Holy shit. Thank you, Tsunami. Thank you.
has provided us with the resources that we need, which is a whole of government approach to go after
you,
criminals
Sapphire.
absolutely everywhere. Not
I
just
offered some Mexicans some ice, but they ran away. I said, hey, I got ice. Why don't they like me?
outside of this country, but within this country. And that takes a whole of government approach. The interagency seated up here with the Department
Yeah,
of
I
Homeland
can't believe you guys pay me to be therapy. That's crazy.
Security, our Attorney General, our Deputy Attorney General, and your White House staffers, and including Stephen Miller's leadership.
To be fair, like I the last time I went to therapy was fucking awful. My mom was like, my mom tried to take me to go to therapy one time. And the person was like, what do you do? I was like, oh, YouTube. And she goes, my daughter would love to have that job. So you should be happy. I was like, this sucks. I was like, this fucking sucks. What the hell?
Allowed us to go out there and map out these networks. What we are doing at the FBI is simple. It does not require rocket science. We are following the money. Money never lies. And that's what it's going to take to bring down this network of organized criminal thugs, gangbangers, and yes, domestic terrorists, because that's what they are. They are harming everyday citizens in every single one of our communities.
My therapy
And
is
the folks
D&D.
you see here on the right and
Well, not
left are some of
D&D,
the
Angel
bravest men
Sword,
and women
but
we have today. They're
playing
reporting the
tabletop
stories
is my
live time
therapy.
because the mainstream media won't cover it. They're putting their lives on the line. They're standing up for the flag. The least we can do is stand up for them. So you have my thanks. I read more of your stories than I do theirs because you guys are putting out the truth. And we deserve a country where you are protected as equally as they are. We, in this FBI, will go after with the criminals with a vengeance. We will not rest until we find every single seed, money, donor, organization, and funding mechanism that we have. And I want to echo the Secretary's comments on Scott Bessent, who's allowing us to map out these networks through their financial criminal activities, which has been going on for decades. And I would like to remind the American public, they built this disease temple of corruption over decades.
Holy fuck,
And
we're 18 minutes in on like a 90-minute video.
8 short months, Mr. President, you have crippled their foundation because of your leadership here, because of the interagency, because of people like Deputy Attorney General Blanche, and because of Attorney General Pam Bondi's fearless leadership to go after criminals wherever they are. They will not be able to hide. They were able to hide and conspire with prior administrations, and we are exposing their corruption from within. And we will go to every single city in this country under Operation Summer Heat.
I can't
and the
tell
other
if I like
operations we're
cash
doing at the
anymore.
FBI
I
to
can't
bring
tell,
these criminals
bros.
to justice. We will arrest every single one of them from whatever perch you sit in, private or public, no matter how your goal or your ambition is.
I feel like
you will
I'm
be
getting
crushed
whiplash from
by
this
the
guy.
Constitution, because the American people deserve law and order, and that's what we're going to give you.
Thank you very much, Cash. Great job. Maybe we'll start over here. Would any of you like to say something? Feel free. You can say it in front of a fine group
Where's
of people.
Dan Bongino?
Also journalists and reporters. You want to start?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. President Trump, members of the cabinet, really appreciate you guys bringing this together. And the fact that we are here today on such short notice shows how serious you guys are taking this issue of trans terrorists and frankly, the cities and police departments that are cooperating with Antifa, such as Portland. I mean, the Portland politicians are literally willing to sacrifice their own citizens just to appease these Antifa terrorists. It's sick.
Yo, I'm gonna take a little break just to reset. I'm gonna go get like a drink. So be right back. Gonna like do a little mental reset. Oh my god, you guys, I was looking for my fucking headphones and they were on my head.
I've seen it firsthand, obviously. When I went to jail that night, never expected it to happen. I thought that they were maybe removing me for my own safety. It never crossed my mind that I was the one that was being arrested for a crime after I was just thrown into a hole. I heard from the Department of Homeland Security after I had gotten out of jail, and one of your, I won't say exactly who it
That
was,
happened to me the other day where I was holding my phone and I was looking for.
but somebody very close to Secretary Noem over here said that they were legitimately worried for my safety in the Portland jail. But luckily, the Portland jail was, I was the only one there,
It is, Nick.
essentially,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they don't
yeah,
actually
yeah.
arrest people in Portland,
Thanks,
besides
Pineapple
conservative
Soap, for
journalists, I guess.
the gift sub. Thank you for
So,
the, again for the bits. Thank you.
Look, I'm glad that it was not a good night for me. Let's just
Thanks
say
for the
that.
follows,
It was
you guys, as well.
not
Thank you.
fun sitting in that jail, but I'm glad to see what has come of it. And I've been able to talk to a bunch of FBI agents, ATF agents, DHS agents that I didn't even know existed until I went there and went to that ICE facility. And the morale is at an all-time high. It is so exciting
Dara.
to see.
Don't feel bad. When I was a kid, my mother spent nearly an hour yelling at us for moving or hiding her purse and had us tearing the house apart looking for it, and it was on her shoulder. Oh my god, brother Red Rack, thank you so much for the bits. Thank you. You know, it is said pets are a lot like their owners.
Is at an all-time high. It is so exciting to see these guys know now that they have the backing of the secretary, the DOJ, as well as the president of the United States, and they are there to do their job. They are going to fulfill this mission and deport these violent criminals. I believe one of the ones that I did a ride along with Secretary Noem yesterday, President Trump, and there was a pedophile that had come into the country 5 times over the past 7 years. 7 years. And apparently under the Biden regime, that was just allowed to happen. That was fine. No problem. It's concerning to me that you're seeing the Portland Police Department, as well as the...
How do I feel about Texas sending units to Chicago? Conflicted, because I feel like those are our people, but at the same time, it is kind of a nice fuck you. So
Governor of Oregon and the mayor, of course, coming out and running defense for pedophiles that have entered the country illegally 5 times. It's
I don't know. I'm a bit real. I kind of feel like I think I don't really like it. To be honest, I don't think I like it. The reason why is because I don't like our things meant for us going to them when they fuck their place up in the first place. Well, I guess is it to defend? It's to defend like federal facility, right? Wasn't it to defend like the ICE and DHS? If it's for that, then I'm fine with it. But if it's to try to clean up their own cities, I don't believe in that.
crazy. I'm glad it's taking a front row seat in the media. And, they're being forced to talk about it in reality because, we're the ones that were on the ground. We're the ones that are actually reporting what's going on.
What's up with the flannel jacket? I kind of like it. It's kind of nice.
Much of the legacy media has been either ignoring it or...
I think guys should be able to, have more variety with their clothes. They already don't have very much, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Covering for Antifa for years now. So thank you guys so much for taking this seriously. And President Trump, you mentioned that flag. So remember, you put out a truth right after.
Have you seen the shit that girls have access to now? Guys, look at this. Look at this peak shit. Look at this. Man, that's so sad. You guys can't wear shit like this. Look how fucking cute it is. Isn't that cute? No, this is a real store. This is a real store.
Sure.
That's right. I saw that.
Took this flag from that man that was burning it in the street.
I saw it. Do you know who he is?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who it is.
So why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General and let's start prosecution.
Why do men have the worst clothing options, dude? You guys used to be able to carry swords and shit. That's so aesthetic. You got the sword, the belt, the belt that has a sword on it, or you have the freaking capes. Yeah, for sure.
I
actually have a second flag that he tried to burn as well. So I have two of them from the same guy.
Well, you also saw what happened when that flag started burning. Everyone went crazy. That's right. And that's when it started, when they started burning the flag. So thank you. If you could give the information, it would be great.
Absolutely.
And at least that horrible night made you famous. You got
He was already
I got a text from the President of the United States, so I appreciate that.
And President Trump, after that happened to Nick, I called Harmeet Dillon and we opened a pattern and practice investigation into the Portland police very publicly as to how they let this happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, Brandy Cruz, you're going to hear us be very fired up today, and you can tell, and it's because some of us have been covering Antifa for 15 years and have never had anyone in a position of authority even acknowledge their existence. Mm-hmm. And I'll also tell you that I think that had you not done, the single most powerful thing you've done to deal with this scourge has been acknowledging that Antifa is a real thing. I genuinely believe there would be people at these tables who would be dead today and would have been killed in Portland had you not called them a terror organization and said we're going to bring the full weight of the federal government to bear. I talked to Katie Daviscourt in Portland the other day. She'd been assaulted all summer. And she said the same thing. They didn't seem as quick to violence as soon as you made that designation. So they're thinking in their heads, they're worried. There's been 24 or so arrested in Portland. They don't want to go to federal prison. There's this video of them, one of them who was in the face of an ICE agent. And they
Lock them up. Rohan, thank you so much for the bits. Leaf, you misunderstand. Guys can get their wife, girlfriends a really nice outfit and enjoy theirs. I guess that's true. That is true. You just get like you get like a wife or a girlfriend, and you can just like make her, you just like tell her the cosplay, everything. Yeah, true. You could do that.
and he's in custody shaking. Once you take the mask off, they're nothing. And I was told by probably a dozen people not to tell you this. I'm going to tell it to you anyway, because it's relevant to what we're talking about. I'm living proof that you can recover from TDS. I had strong Trump derangement syndrome for probably 8 years. This is one of the reasons I recovered from it. And by the way, it's much better to not have TDS. I'm happier, I'm healthier, more successful.
There it
I
is.
even think I got a little more attractive after I got rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. Yes.
That's actually so funny.
You know, I'm a reporter in Seattle, and
Katie Astral, thank you for 10 gifts. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Sariams, for the bits as well. But that means I have to talk to women.
frankly,
True.
I could not care any less what any of you have to say about this meeting. Could not care any less. We're not here for you. I'm not here to convince any of you that Antifa is a real thing. Because if you
She
have
must be
not come to
taking
that
the
conclusion by
Aspen
now,
gold.
you are never going
True.
to come to that conclusion because you don't want to see it. And you're going to go and you're going to say it's a bunch of right-wing conservative influencers who are here spinning a tale. I was one of you. I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years. I was a TV reporter on the streets doing my job, and I was still assaulted by Antifa. So it's not about being conservative. It's about people who go there and show what they're doing. And when I saw, after all those years, that the media wouldn't be honest about what was happening, that Democratic politicians wouldn't be honest about what was happening, I thought, well, gosh, if they're not being honest about that, maybe they're not being honest about President Trump either. And it opened my mind to just looking at things for what they were. And now I find you quite funny, actually. Now it's like I said, I'm much happier about
Look
it.
at
But
Trump.
you know, for
Trump
me,
is
again,
getting
I could not
glazed.
care any less the stories that they go to print. This is what I care about. We have 3.5 years. Nothing is guaranteed, although I think if Democrats keep it up, we'll probably have Republican presidents for the next 3 decades. But nothing is guaranteed, and so what I want to see over the next 3.5 years is a full court press to dismantle Antifa once and for all in a meaningful way. I know, Andy, we talked before this about some ideas. That's really what we want to, I don't care what the media says, I don't care what Democrats say. They will never wake up to this fact. So we want the federal government to take as many of these cases as possible, look at the interstate travel between Portland and Seattle when it comes to these people who are committing violent acts, and hopefully in 3.5 years, they will be a shell of their
We'll have
former
it very
selves.
close to done, and it's Antifa and many others,
Yes.
unfortunately. There are many others, bad ones. Most have been named terrorist organizations. There are a couple that we're going to, but I think we've got it pretty well covered. But there are many others, but very specifically today it's Antifa, and it's really bad, and we're going to get it cleaned up. Andy, do you have something? Thank you very much. I'm glad you no longer have TDS. I feel very good about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the cabinet. I have a lot of gratitude and a little bit
Dude,
about
Andy is like the most hated person. They fucking hate him. On the left, they're always beating the shit out of him.
my background. I'm born in Portland, Oregon, from there. And growing up, it's always been left-wing, very progressive. And I liked it. It had cafes and artists.
Andy
and
is
those-
a reporter who always goes to like these kind of Antifa protests and stuff like that. And he always gets the shit beaten out of him because all he does is like basically shine light on what they're doing. And like he's like one of the OG people that would go to those places and just show the world like what they were talking about and what they were doing. And so they hate him.
who lived a bohemian lifestyle. And in 2016, I was a graduate student at Portland State studying political science. I was an editor at the student paper there, a very progressive paper, and I was assigned to cover the election night demonstrations. Well, the elections night protests turned to riots, 3 days of violent rioting in Portland, and it was the first time that I saw groups dressed in black with their faces covered. This was 4 years before COVID, Some of them were waving the black flag of anarchism, some the red flag of Marxism. And within seconds, they would ravage one street to another, to another, to another. And the next day, I would read the legacy media, which I still read at that time and looked forward to, and I looked up to those journalists. And I was really shocked to see that the narrative was that these,
bullshit.
in my view, anti-democratic political violence was legitimate acts of protest because people were
Yeah, it was
they
Hawaii.
were concerned
Hawaii.
about racism or all these other lies. And so for the next
One sec. I'm gonna ask my mom if she can bring me something. Okay.
4 years, I just continued going out with my video camera. I thought, look,
I have like
people
a
can ignore what
like my I think I have a cut on my tongue, and like it hurts, and I feel like the this is what I mean. It's like I wake up every morning, there's like a different problem. And I think I have a cut on my tongue, but it's like in the very back of my mouth. You know, like really, really far back. Like all the way in the back. Underneath, like kind of in the back, like underside. And I don't know if it's just like that specific spot. If that's like like causing like nerve pain, like lower in my neck. And it's like, it just sucks. And I'm just worried that there's like an infection or something. I can't tell. So I'm asking my mom to bring me some garlic so I can make medicine.
I write because of spin, but videos can quite speak for themselves.
I just make my own antibiotics like a psycho.
And in 2019, it led to me nearly losing my life. I was covering another Antifa protest turned riot. At that point, had been
I'm like literally Mau Mau.
in Portland, and then I was ambushed in a mob beating, and I had never been in a fight. I didn't even realize that
Garlic is an antibiotic.
I was being assaulted until seconds in.
Raw garlic. You
And
can eat it raw.
the punches came from everywhere on my head and my face, and I was bleeding out of my eyes and ears. And then they threw all the drinks in my eyes to humiliate me further and to laugh at me.
Dude, I
And
don't. It's
I was
always worked for me. Every time, like I felt like I was on the edge of getting like an infection or something, like my cat cut me or something like that, or like I was feeling like a little bit like sick, like I had some kind of like bacterial like infection. Like it feels like it's like that kind of thing rather than a virus. I've been just making my own antibiotics. I've always done that.
to the hospital in a ambulance and CT scan, and I had subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is bleeding in the brain. I nearly died. And
Yeah, he almost died,
after
by the way.
surviving that, the reporting that I saw in liberal media it seemed to suggest that I had deserved it because they branded me far right. And some
Actually, let me just go. Can I go grab it real fast? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to go on the break so soon. I'm just gonna go grab it real fast and bring it to my table. So I'm not gonna be that long. Maybe like 2 minutes. You're back. I'm back. No, I just have like garlic cloves, and like some raw honey.
even went so far as to suggest that I maybe faked my injuries.
I
about
love raw
people
garlic. I'm a
my-
freak, you guys. I love raw garlic so much. I've gotten garlic poisoning multiple times. I've gotten garlic poisoning like like double digits amounts of garlic poisoning.
medical records, which I did provide, but this felt so, it's like because I didn't die in that attack, there was another round of people who wanted to finish me off.
Garlic poisoning is a thing? It is, yeah. It hurts your stomach like really bad. But like the garlic poisoning I'm talking about, by the way, chat, is like I ate like 3 cloves of roasted garlic. That was one time I got garlic poisoning. The other time I ate about one not cloves, sorry, bulbs. 3 bulbs of roasted garlic. And then the last time I got garlic poisoning, I ate about one bulb of raw garlic. So like the raw garlic is way worse, basically. So you don't want to eat too much raw garlic. But that's what makes it better. That's what makes it better for like the antibiotic property. But like I just like it. It just tastes good. Sometimes I'll eat pasta, like I'll have like spaghetti, and I'll just get like a clove of raw garlic and I'll grate it like over my pasta. It's like my favorite. I love it. It's so good. I'm eating it right now, just raw garlic, straight up.
Portland was really the epicenter of the longest political violence. Those months of riots, I was on the ground, undercover, and there was an assassination there. There was a supporter of Donald Trump named Aaron Danielson.
You certainly are something. I'm afraid.
Self-described Antifa member who then fled out of state and died in a shootout with U.S. Marshals. In 2021, I returned undercover, naively thinking that enough time had passed, and was chased through the streets of downtown and beaten, nearly choked out. The person who was trying to choke me out held me so tightly that I had the blood, the vessels.
That new Costco garlic is so good.
Eyes burst. So one of the symptoms were my eyes were completely red after that, and I was hospitalized. So thank you so much for acknowledging Antifa and for directing your administration to treat them as domestic terrorists. It's going to be really challenging because how they organize is that they are decentralized, autonomous, and they operate on deception. And we're still to this day told that they don't exist, that it's a figment of our imagination. I think
this is this mushroom variety salad. Oh my gosh, I had the best salad tonight. I had
federal conspiracy charges.
I had a dill pickle salad from Costco. Costco sells like this chopped dill pickle salad, and it's so good. Holy crap. It's like my favorite. Every time they have it like around fall all the time. It's the best. Yeah, it's so good. It's just like chopped like cabbage and like kale and lettuce. And it has like cheese and then like these like kind of like croutons and then like a seasoning, like a dill, like a pack of like it has like dried dill, and then it has like a creamy dill pickle dressing. It's so good.
Broke up an Antifa cell in San Diego.
Kale's pretty. Kale's not good for you, actually.
The State Department should.
You didn't know that spinach and kale are actually not good for you. They're gonna like pretend like it is, and they're gonna bait you into like thinking it's good for you, but it's not. It has too much oxalate in it. It'll fuck up your joints or something. It fucks up like it fucks your body up. The oxalates.
Antifa, its international arm as a foreign terrorist organization, FTO. So thank you so much for this invitation, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Andy. Great. That's a rough time you had, huh? So the chokeout was almost the end. You felt?
Yeah, that was my.
You can eat it, just not like that much of it. If you eat like more than twice a week, it can get pretty bad.
Only a near-death experience in my life, and I'm quite shaken when I think about it now. It really feels unbelievable to me that on the streets of America that this type of violence against citizens could become so routine and accepted and cheered on by people. Although, in the immediate aftermath of Mr. Kirk's assassination, we saw again that type of depravity play out on quite large swaths of the left. So there's a deep sickness that's in this country right now, and it pains me a lot to acknowledge it.
Yeah, the amazing thing is you look at Portland, and you see fires all over the place. You see fights and, just violence. It's just so crazy. And then you talk to the governor, and she acts like everything is totally normal. There's nothing wrong. It's almost...
They're like, there's no problems. No problems at all.
It's like, are you waking up from a dream or something? You see it on your network. You see it all over the place. And it's so bad. It's so crazy. It's like... the movies you see for the kids, I guess not only the kids, adults also, where you have these bombed out cities and these bombed out people. It's like worse than that. I don't think they could make a movie as bad. And then the governor will get up and say...
Most vegetables are bad for you raw. Yeah, especially one thing though is mushrooms. I know they're not vegetables, but like mushrooms, don't eat mushrooms raw. They're so bad for you raw, except for like a handful. There's only like a couple that are okay raw, but almost all mushrooms are like really bad for you raw. The ones that you find in the store, you should always like fully cook them.
I don't know why they're coming here. It's such a wonderful place. And the amazing thing is the people want us to be there. The people, when they get the real people that live there, many of them have left, but the real people want us to be
they're
there.
not
Same
good
thing
for
in
you,
Chicago.
real lizard boy.
They've had 60, 70 murders over a short period of time. Murders. People
Where the
that
info come from? Paul Stamets, man.
got shot. They've had hundreds of people shot.
You guys ever seen like the clip from Joe Rogan?
Then a guy like Pritzker, or this low IQ mayor, gets up. I mean, he got up. He's got a 5% approval rating.
It's
And the
raw.
people
You don't want to eat mushrooms raw because they always eat like button mushrooms and portobello mushrooms raw, like in salads and stuff. So you're supposed to cook it. You have to cook it like a lot. You have to cook it like hard.
against him. They want people to come. Beautiful black women are wearing a MAGA hat last night on television. Beautiful people. And they said, we don't care who comes, just stop the crime. They don't care, frankly, they don't care if it's National Guard, military, send in anybody you want, stop the crime. And they're afraid to go out. They can't even go out. And then a guy like Pritzker, think of that, 50, 60, 70 people over a short period of time murdered, actually murdered, mostly gun violence, but knives, but gun violence, they're murdered, and hundreds of people shot. They had one weekend where they had like 18 murdered and 71 shot. But they said, you know what their excuse is? Yeah, but it was a long weekend. In other words, it was a long weekend, so that was
What
okay.
the fuck?
And then Pritzker gets up and he says, like, I don't know what they're talking about. We don't have crime here. They're crazy.
He's talking about how a lot of the people in big cities are like, oh, it's like not that bad. Like all the rioting is not that bad. Oh, the crime isn't that bad. But they're just fucking bullshitting, basically.
Actually, they're petrified. You know, their families live there, everything else. I actually think they're scared. Pritzker was a failure in his family. They threw him out of the family business. Guy's a loser. But you know what? They actually, I believe they're scared. They're actually frightened for their lives. Jack, please say a few words.
Mr. President, thank you so much for having us here today and holding this roundtable. Antifa is real. Antifa has been around in various iterations for almost 100 years in some instances, going back to the Weimar Republic in Germany. And it's now been just under 1 month since we saw a far leftist murder Charlie Kirk, and we saw thousands upon thousands of people, other far leftists and people in positions of authority, people like nurses and pilots and doctors and HR departments, celebrating the death and the murder of Charlie Kirk. This sickness that's out there is absolutely real. And Mr. President, thank you for mentioning the fact that one of the bullet casings read, "Hey fascist, catch" on it. One of the other bullet casings right next to that had Bella Ciao written on it. Now, Bella Ciao is a song that is known in Antifa circles as the international anthem of Antifa. And all of us around this room that have studied Antifa, we're very familiar with these symbols. And Mr. President, I think the situation
But were they familiar? Were they familiar with the bomb though?
Luigi Maggioni, in his 20s.
The Helldivers
Thomas
bomb.
Matthew Crooks, of course, who took a shot at you, sir. The ICE shooter in Dallas, and now this Tyler Robinson. We're starting to see a pattern of more and more murderous violence. And this same violence is not just random. It is targeted assassinations, which are getting worse. And every single one of us in this room.
Yeah, that's the one, the Agaritine. Yeah, it's not good.
Goes out there, and obviously you as well, sir, and all the staff. We are now under that threat.
I believe Agaritine is the one that breaks down from heat. I'm gonna double check to make. Does Agaritine break down with heat? I'm pretty sure it does. Yes, Agaritine breaks down with heat, which is why you want to cook them for a really long time.
Every single day. And
Agaritine is like carcinogen. It causes cancer, but it's when you heat up certain proteins, they break down. I think you have to nuke the fuck out of it. I think it depends on the specific one, but champignons, which is the white mushrooms, cremini, portobello, they all need it basically. You can also boil it. Boiling also does that, but you have to you still have to boil the fuck out of it. It just depends. But yeah, apparently 1 minute in the microwave reduces it by 65%. Boiling for a long period of time is 90% reduction after an hour. But it still doesn't get it completely. So again, that's why those mushrooms are kind of sus. I don't really eat those mushrooms. I don't eat button mushrooms. I don't really eat creminis. I don't really eat creminis, and I don't really eat portobellos. I eat lion's mane. So the ones I buy from the store that I eat, maitake, maitakes I'll eat. I'll eat lion's mane. Sometimes I'll eat beach mushrooms, shimeji, enoki. But most of the mushrooms I've eaten in the last year, I've just gotten them myself. I just go into the woods and get them.
Working there
I've
at
eaten a
Turning
lot
Point
of
USA,
chanterelles
and
this year.
I've spent just about the last month out there in Phoenix with Erica, with the family, with the team. And I will tell you this, Mr. President, even though going through something like that, which is an absolute nightmare, and people say, what was it like to speak in front of all those people? It was horrible. Every second of it was horrible. But we're not going to quit. And Turning Point USA is...
The worst thing about mushrooms, though, when you get them in the wild, especially if you're harvesting small mushrooms, you have to basically put them in salt water so that all the bugs will come out. You get these fucking worms coming out of it, and you always have to take them out.
Continuing the tour that Charlie was on, we had 6,000 people when we went back to Utah. We had 5,000 people last night in Montana, if you can believe that. We are continuing to organize on campus. We are getting more and more people coming out in the face of this threat, knowing what happened to Charlie. But Mr. President,
Austin has morels, makes
we
me
need
jealous.
to do something about this, because I fear that the next one...
Maybe I'll drive up to Austin and get some morels during morel season. That sounds kind of nice.
Who could be killed could be sitting at this table right now. And we're not going to stop, but they need to stop, and they will not stop until they are stopped. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate it very much. One thing I have to say is that Washington, D.C. was almost as bad. I don't know what could be worse than Portland. You don't even have sewers anymore.
Cockroaches are good for protein. That sounds nasty. You know what I wanted to try, though? You want to know one thing I was kind of interested in? Was cicadas. Because apparently cicadas are really good. And I had a fuck ton of cicadas in my woods. And I was thinking about grabbing them. You got to grab them right as they come out, though. Right when they molt. Because then it's kind of like soft shell crab. But I couldn't do it.
Don't even put glass up. They put plywood on their windows. But most of the retailers have left. But Washington, D.C. was so bad.
Thank you.
And Pam, I'd say it took 12 days to...
Darth Andrea, thank you so much for the bits, Darth Andrea. Plants spend millions of years developing capsaicin as a chemical warfare to get animals to leave their seed pods alone. And humans take a bite and say, hey, this hurts, I want more. Yeah.
Really make it pretty good. And a month to make it great. And now people are going out to dinner. The restaurants are booming. They don't have enough seats. They're opening up new restaurants because many of them closed. And people are walking down the street totally safe. A reporter, I'm not sure if she's there. I can't see somebody reported there. She is. She was violently assaulted.
One time I went to a Cracker Barrel and they had puffballs growing there and I fucking took them.
And I don't know.
I
She
took
tends to be
them and I
somewhat
ate
liberal,
them.
but she wasn't liberal on this one. I appreciated your honesty, but that won't happen again. It won't happen again. You're lucky you're alive, frankly, with what happened. I know exactly what
They were
took
okay.
place.
They were like the
So,
small puffballs.
Washington, D.C., our capital.
Yeah, I was like, free food, fuck yeah. There was a whole field of them. I was like, yeah.
We thought we'd start there appropriately, and it's safe, and people are so happy. They're so happy. And now it's a couple of months. I went to dinner there. I felt totally safe. I gave a press conference right in the middle of the street, which I don't think Secret Service
I
was
like
thrilled about,
dewberries
but,
too when they're
I'll
in
tell you what,
season.
I wouldn't have wanted
Dewberries,
to do it 6 months ago.
delicious.
It's incredible what happened. Now we're in Memphis, as you know. We're having a great impact in Memphis. It's been only a week, but it's, Cash, I hear it's been amazing what's happening there, just very early. But
Leave
you
with the
take a look at
Mau
D.C.,
mindset.
you take a
There's
look.
a lot of like herbs and stuff that you can find around that are like pretty good medicines and stuff like that. You can find it like all around the woods. Even if you live in like an urban environment, there's some.
Look at some of the other. We've had a big impact. What we haven't said, because Pritzker said, well, crime is going down.
I'm more
in
into
Chicago.
mushrooms
Well,
though. Like I can tell you which mushrooms are good for certain ailments, but I don't know that much about plants.
5 months ago, Cash went to Chicago with a lot of FBI agents just to prepare it, so that we went in with, I guess you could call it a surge, call it whatever you want, but would be even more effective. And we're going to be doing that, and very, very strongly doing that, because Chicago is a very unsafe city. It's a great city. The head of the Union Pacific Railroad said, "Sir, please save Chicago. It's a great city. It can be saved. Other cities are gone. I mean, they're lost. They can
Just
get better, but
fucked,
they're just
basically.
really, they've been so
San
decimated.
Francisco, GG.
But I'm so proud of what they've done so quickly in D.C., and it's taking place quickly in Memphis, where we were asked to go by the mayor and by the governor. And it's really incredible what we can do and how fast.
American beauty berries are in season right now. I know. I have so many of them. I have so many of them outside. They're really pretty. Like, are they good? Like, I've never had beauty berries before. I've seen them though. They're like kind of like this, kind of like a real. They're like super. They're like kind of light purplish. They look really pretty, but I didn't get any. I haven't tried them yet. Yeah, beauty bears are fucking everywhere. They're everywhere. There's also grapes too. I get a lot of grapes, like wild grapes. If you don't know, like wild grapes are everywhere. Like, dude, I got some wild passion fruit the other day. Wild passion fruit also grows in America. If you guys didn't know that, if you like live kind of in the South, wild passion fruit it's pretty easy to find. I found some near a Walmart. Yeah.
Yes, we can do it. Let's go for two more. Would you like to go? And then Katie, you'll go. Okay, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, for having us here. And not to sound like a broken record, but it needs to be said that Antifa is real. Yeah. It's real. It's a threat.
Antifa is real.
I saw them last weekend over in Portland while they're causing mayhem over there. And the reason why they're such a big
really
problem
good.
is because we have Democrats and a lot of people in
I'm a little
mainstream
too far
media
south
refusing
for
to acknowledge that they even
salmon
exist, right? So how can we as a country begin to address it when you have large swaths of these people who are supposedly decision makers and people who are supposed to inform? They don't want to say that.
Do you guys want guys, should I do a stream with my foraging kit? Do you guys want to see it? I just show you like my entire foraging kit. Yeah, you guys interested? Dude, my foraging knife is sick. My foraging knife is super sick. I've got like multiple foraging knives, and I've got like these really good shears. I've got like my mushroom knife. I got a ton.
It exists.
I got like really good bags. I got nice holsters. I'm really set, man. Set for foraging.
The common argument is like, well, they're not a real organization because
I got
there's
a
no
hori.
national leadership. They don't have a national headquarters. So
I got
how
an
can
amazing hori knife.
law enforcement go after a group that doesn't exist like that? It was law enforcement goes after criminal groups that organize to rob banks or do smash and grabs. They don't have a registered LLC. They don't have official membership cards. They don't have.
How long will I survive in the wild? Probably not that long. I'm not that strong.
A business address, but law enforcement still goes after them because they're working as a group. These people don't just show up,
I feel like I would survive in a apocalypse scenario though, because I could offer my cooking skills basically, and my foraging skills. I could offer those, but like, I need like dudes to carry shit for me. I'm super
randomly
weak.
at the same time to do the same thing dressed in a very similar fashion, espousing the same ideology. And they say, well, it's an ideology. It's like, well, yes, it's an ideology because there's people alive, present, that believe in it, and they're acting on it. And so I've been very well aware of what Antifa's been doing. I was very busy during the riots in 2020. That was probably my most exposure to them prior to this year. I've been at the ICE facility at Broadview. I'm originally from the Chicagoland area, unfortunately, but that's where
Well, that's not
that's
true.
where I
Never
grew up.
mind. I have how many knives do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 or 6 knives. I don't have that many.
Around, like I said, I was in
And a lot of my knives, I don't know where they are. I lost my old foraging kit when I moved. I don't know what happened to it. I used to have a really nice waxed canvas bag. And I had a really nice Nata machete. I can't fucking find it. I don't know where it went.
I was covering the riots in Los Angeles as well, and probably one of the most disturbing parts about that is, in addition to Antifa being present, they were tagging the streets with CJNG, which is Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación, which is a cartel. So you have these people who are working basically in concert with other terrorist groups to say that we're here, we're present, and we're gonna attack federal agents and people who are gonna expose what we do. And so, to be clear, political violence, sustained political violence that we're seeing in this country is not a both sides issue. I was, I was at Charlie Kirk's memorial in Glendale recently. Conservative gathering, totally peaceful. It was the most peaceful gathering that I've been at. Every other time that I've been covering violence in the streets, just this year, just this year, it's always been from left-wing people.
Give the bug out to the whiz. What guns do I take? Probably just the AR. I don't know if I would take the maybe the SCAR. Maybe I take the SCAR.
Left-wing people, and it's
Hey,
not even just
Fitterman,
Antifa
thank you for the
anymore.
bits.
The shooting that happened in the defensive shooting that happened in the Chicago area. That wasn't someone dressed in black bloc. That was just somebody that had taken upon themselves to go out and try to interfere and ram federal vehicles. So people are becoming more and more radicalized, and it was to be expected, unfortunately. And the reason why we're in this position today is because after I was done covering the riots, I was at the border from the San Diego sector all the way down to the Rio Grande Valley sector, covering the border crisis month after month. And we all knew the solution to that. We all knew why it was happening.
I like how easy the SCAR is to break down. It is quite nice.
Racist to have a border. It's like, well, actually, it's not, but okay. And so it required you to come back into office and to fix the problem, but it's no longer just a border issue. It's a nationwide issue, and that's one of the reasons why you got elected back into office, because thankfully the American people said we're not going to deal with it anymore. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people, as we've seen, who are willing to take to the streets to do violence. And that's a scary thing, because typically when I was in 2020, I was covering Minneapolis, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle. I was over in Chaz, and that was to be expected. But now, because the issue of immigration, illegal immigration, is so widespread, riots can happen.
Well,
anywhere.
no, for me, it's because my AR has a longer barrel. My SCAR is unfortunately a 5.56 SBR, and I know ballistics people will think that's incredibly cringe, but it's so cute. It's so cute, though. A little tiny baby SCAR. It's so cute.
Attacks can happen anywhere. So that's why it was weird kind of going back to my home state to cover this violence. I mean, just after the Dallas shooting, they were chanting outside Broadview, shoot ICE, shoot those, efforts, shoot those efforts. So I'll just leave.
How long is the barrel on it? 7.5.
That thank you so much again for having this. This is very dangerous. We don't work for companies that have billions of dollars. We're running and gunning often on our own.
Yeah, it's fucking
We became friends.
Fireball.
A lot of us are friends because we would see each other all the time, and we became friends because we wanted to have someone watch our back while we're out there.
It is quite
like I
loud.
said, we're just out there, and but we'll continue to do it because it's an important topic. It's an important issue. The American people deserve to know what's happening in these chaotic situations, and we're more than happy to do it. So thank you, sir.
Great job. Thank you very much. Katie, please.
It's a SCAR 15 SBR, you were wondering what it is.
Hi, Mr. President. It is an honor being here today, and I first wanted to start by thanking you guys for designating Antifa a terrorist group. It's exactly what this group is. It's a long time coming. I'm an investigative journalist from Seattle. I work for the Post Millennial alongside Andy Ngo and Jack Posobiec. I have been infiltrating Antifa cells in Seattle and Portland for the past decade.
How long did it take me to get saving for it?
Workings.
It was on sale. The whole reason I bought it is because it was on sale. It was like $1,000 off. So I saw it, like Gotcha Gun sent it to me and was like, yo, look at this. And I was like, fuck, and I just bought it instantly.
And Antifa uses extreme political violence.
I was like, I'll worry about paying for it later. Cause it was just, the price was so good. Yeah.
Crush the civil rights of their political enemies and believes that violence is justified by any means necessary. But today, I want to focus on what is happening in Portland at the ICE facility. I've been covering this for the past 4 months, and this is a call out to corporate media who has completely ignored this story or has falsely reported on it.
Oh, she's the one that got fucking hit in the face by the pole, right?
Other than a sustained attack on the United States, which is being supported by Democratic elected officials. The Portland Police Bureau has completely abandoned several blocks outside the ICE facility, giving away their jurisdiction to a terrorist group who has spent the past 4 months harassing, assaulting, and intimidating anyone they perceive to be against their cause. Not only have federal agents been relentlessly assaulted for more than 100 consecutive days, black-clad anarchist militants concealing their identities behind black facial coverings have been assaulting reporters just for trying to cover their crimes. Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion after being violently hit in the face with a metal pole while reporting outside the ICE facility just this past week. After the attack, I immediately went to three Portland police officers who refused to detain the suspect. I took the time to chase down the suspect.
Yeah, they fucking didn't do anything.
In the streets, had her held for 35 minutes. I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came. Then, that's what opened to my eyes to what this group is actually doing. I watched 20 Antifa militants help my assault suspect escape into an Antifa safe house that is 1 block away from the ICE facility. And this safe house is where Antifa-affiliated protesters are conducting paramilitary operations. It's where they're arresting, they're showering, they're eating to continue this occupation. I have staked out this safe house and have observed shift changes. This group is highly organized. It is being funded through mutual aid groups, and they have no plans of stopping. Residents living across the ICE facility have been held hostage by Antifa. They're begging for federal intervention. The city refuses to help, and they want you, President Trump, to come in and restore law and order. I want to stress the importance of taking this situation seriously because when I first started reporting on this occupation, I went undercover in Black Bloc. I talked to these Antifa militants. I lasted for about a month. They believe that ICE agents are the Nazi Gestapo who need to be killed. They told me that directly, and I think that if this situation is not taken as seriously as it is, it's just a matter of time before someone gets killed. And thank you for having me.
Thank you, Katie. That's pretty incredible. The only question nobody can answer is why.
My home defense guns are 300 blackout. It's right next to me right now.
They're like insurrectionists. They're terrible people. But you really wonder why.
Why are
they
doing
doing it?
Thank you.
What are they gaining other than they're obviously paid? They're paid a lot of money. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, if I can answer that question, the reason why they're doing it is because the same media that's sitting in
I don't know that one. Yeah, without the cat, I'm so sorry. It has a blast diverter on it.
room with us has declared all of us at this
I need a suppressor. I haven't gotten one yet. They're so expensive.
Nazis and fascists, and they've been doing this for years. This is why Antifa
I'm waiting for the thing. I'm waiting for the law. Aren't they gonna like pass a law where it's fine? I don't need to pay the stupid fee or whatever.
To attack us. Now, almost every single person at this table has been threatened with a steel bat We've been assaulted, we've been harassed, we've been threatened, and that is in huge part
Yeah,
due
I'm
to the
waiting for
media.
January,
So my
yeah.
message right now is for you guys. Because 2 years ago, or back in 2020, by the way, I was censored for my reporting on Antifa here in Washington, D.C. You were talking about how safe it is now, Mr. President. It wasn't so safe back then. Back in 2020, I watched as a father was being mobbed and surrounded by Antifa members as his terrified, crying children looked on and the police here did nothing. I watched as a woman had her hair violently ripped
Police
out of her
are
skull
so
simply
bad.
for waving.
Like I almost feel like if you're a cop, I'm just being real. Like if you're a cop and you see people doing this kind of shit to people, like I feel like you're almost morally obligated to like help, even if you have to break the rules at that point, because that's like your entire job, right? Like you signed up for that specifically, and you're just not gonna help people because like, yeah, I don't
American
know,
flag
man.
on the streets of Washington, D.C. And by the way, if you guys try to go and find any of this footage, you won't find any of it because Twitter deleted all of it because our president shared my reporting and they deleted my entire account immediately after.
Holy shit.
So now, if you want to know what happened in 2020, all you're going to see is the media headlines that said that it was fiery but mostly peaceful. Thanks for that one, CNN. The reality is that it was an extremely violent period of time, and for the last 10 years, Antifa has been wreaking havoc on law-abiding and innocent American citizens, and it needs to end. Now, I'm with Turning Point USA. It's an honor to be here, Mr. President. Thank you guys so much, everybody in the administration, for giving us a seat at the table, because the media has not only been demonizing us for so long, but immediately after the brutal assassination of our founder, Charlie Kirk, our Turning Point USA chapters have seen an uptick in violence across the nation as Antifa chapters that are embedded in our universities go and target them.
Mm-hmm.
It's been extremely difficult to report on the ground, and for a long time I was afraid to go to Portland because I knew that the only people who would have my back, like Julio said, were one of my friends on the ground because there is no police force there. I was terrified to go because I knew if I got shot or stabbed, and I have been assaulted, I've been mobbed and robbed in Austin, Texas by Antifa.
I'm just being real. You know what needs to happen? I think we need people to like actually team up with these people that are doing like these reports and just like help them with security. That's what we need.
That nobody would come to help me. So my plea to the entire administration, especially to the DOJ, is every single radical left-winger who is in front of the ICE facility in Chicago, in New York, in Portland, please make sure that you use the full force of the law to come after each and every single one of them, because it is us being soft on left-wing violence that has fomented all of the terror that we have seen in this country, and it is the left wing getting away time and time again with assaulting law-abiding American citizens that has led us to this place. So truly, to the Americans that I speak to on the ground, they feel completely abandoned by their state and local government. So please step in. You have Americans begging for the National Guard, and to the media over here, please report on the truth. Please do your jobs. I'm an American citizen. Everybody at this table simply views ourselves as American citizens who have an iPhone and the will to actually tell the truth.
I love when the media gets called out because they're normally just there and like nobody ever really considers that they are. It's just great. Like they're just sitting there recording it. He's getting shitted on by Trump. It's the best. I love it.
So please take your job seriously
It's so
and
peak.
tell the truth to the American people. And thank you for letting me be here on behalf of Charlie to continue his legacy of cleaning up the country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Wow, you feel very strongly, I can see.
I'm mad. I got beat up so many times, Mr. President. My friends have gotten beaten up, and I want to cry right now from happiness because we have been completely ignored for so long. For almost 10 years, we've been getting assaulted on the streets. I have watched children cry as their parents have been attacked on the streets. That should not be happening at our nation's capital. So please, again, the DOJ, please utilize the full force and go after each and every single one of these people.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Great job. Impassioned. That's important because you should feel like that. Please, go ahead.
The funny thing is like, you know that the instant that Trump goes after them, they're going to say, oh, here it is, guys. Here's the authoritarianism coming in. Here comes the Nazis. Even though, like, they're the ones being violent, they're the ones scaring the fuck out of everybody and being violent. and then you react to them and like, oh, now you're authoritarian. Yeah, literal Hitler.
Mr. President, thank you for having us here and bringing together.
The best thing you can do, because these people, they use their words to fucking confuse you. They're literally like the demons from Freeman. Their words mean nothing but to confuse you. And the best thing to do is to just not give a shit what they're saying, basically. That's your best option. Just don't give a shit.
This panel of brave journalists, everybody on this side of the room. And no one can speak to the violence.
They are not demons.
Here, so I think we know.
You
that
mean
this
like the
is
people
not...
that are terrorizing the people that are the people who are terrorizing families and terrorizing like these facilities are not good people. They're not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you. Well, I mean, like, you know, you have a reporter on the scene. I mean, you have this reporter here getting fucking freaking hit in the face with a pole. You have Andy No, who's like been to the hospital with a freaking a fracture in his skull. Yeah, these are not normal people. These are absolute freaks. And the best thing you can do is not listen to them. That was 6 years ago. She just got beat up right now. Did you see her face? I seen the video. She got hit in the face by a pole, and the other person just walked away. And then they told the police, and the police didn't do anything. So, no, the other guy. Well, I mean, who cares? Who cares? It happened 6 years ago. I mean, who cares? And yeah, it happened 6 years ago. So it doesn't change the fact that it happened.
Just a story about violence and chaos, as you alluded to, Mr. President. This is a money story. And at the Government Accountability...
If who cares why I bring it up? Okay, hold on, let me help you. What I was saying is, you're the one who said, who cares about it being 6 years ago? And I'm saying, who cares if it was 6 years ago?
To my colleague and I, Peter Schweitzer and our team, we followed the money, and we followed it to the top of what we call the protest industrial complex, Riot Inc. And we found a network of NGOs. It's not just the Soros network, the Open Society network, it's other funding networks, the Arabella funding network, the Tides funding network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Foreign Cash. And it's also big left-wing funders. Some of them are not citizens of this country.
I said the thing happened 6 years ago. You said, who cares? It was 6 years ago. I said, who cares? Who cares if it was or it wasn't? It still happened. It's a little comprehension. I could break it down real slow. I'm breaking it down so slow. Okay? I said it's bad when people get a concussion, because when people get hit in the head, they get a concussion, and people can die from head fractures. And then you're saying, who cares? It was 6 years ago. And I'm saying it doesn't matter if it was 6 years ago or not. He still got hit in the head, and he still got a head fracture by these absolute psychos who attacked a man for reporting the news. It's been happening for a long time.
Mr. Hans-Jörg Wyss of Switzerland, they're pouring money into this entire ecosystem. And so I want to share 3 money facts with you about what we call Riot Inc. Number one, like any corporation, Riot Inc. has many divisions. It doesn't just have the Antifa boots on the ground division. It has PR divisions. It has marketing divisions. It has a very well-funded legal division to get these boots on the ground back on the streets.
Leaflit, you're being rage bait. I'm just farming. As
quickly as possible. But it does have those investors that I mentioned. Number two,
you see a juicy crop, you got to farm it, you know?
Radical organizations, not just the decentralized Antifa organizations, but dozens of radical organizations that have received more than $100 million from the Riot Inc. investors. These would be the lawyer groups. These would be the groups that advocate for calling good, honest Americans fascists, et cetera. And then 3, I think the most shocking thing is that we have found that more than $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funding has flowed into these funding networks, including at least $4 million to these very groups themselves, not just Antifa types, but there was an event in Atlanta called Stop Cop City. Over 60 rioters were charged with domestic terrorism. These groups received money for that from both the billionaire class as well as taxpayer money. So one other thing, this money helps fund the decentralized crowdfunding platforms. These are ways that Antifa, the John Brown Gun Club of Elm Fork, which had links to that attack on the ICE facility, the Socialist Rifle Association, and just because they don't have LLCs or EIN numbers doesn't mean they can't get paid. Some of these funding platforms, crowdfunding platforms, are funded by this network that we call rioting. So again, I want to thank you for your leadership, for the whole cabinet's leadership on this. We're going to keep following the money and appreciate everything you're doing, sir.
Do you know the name of any of the funders? Do you know the names? Because if you do, I'd like you to give them to Cash or Pam.
Absolutely.
Or Christy.
Yeah, we'll do that.
As soon as you can. That's all of you. Because you probably know the names after a certain period of time. You tend to find out. But these are people that do not have good intention for the country, and that's treasonous probably. So if you could, very important, if you could do that, it would be great. Nobody would know better than you. You'll figure it out. Thank you. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Nick Shirley. I'm 23 years old. I'm a 100% independent YouTube journalist. And over the past year or so, I've been able to go to 15 countries. I've hung out with people in the gangs of Brazil, in the favelas, in the prisons of Secot. But yet the most dangerous places I have been here in the United States, unfortunately.
Holy shit.
And I've had the opportunity to show people about the protest Antifa here in the United States, and there's nothing organic about what they are doing here in the United States. I've watched people be bussed in from states. I've watched the same lady at a protest in Atlanta be bused to the protest in DC and then in New York City. There's nothing that is honest about what they are doing. And they have signs. I've seen the same signs
for the follow,
here in
Joshua. Thank you.
DC and in London as well. It's a big organization and corporation that they're running. And people may wonder, like, what's the threat to us as Americans if we go? Well, you'll be labeled as a fascist, you'll be labeled as a Nazi, and they'll wish death upon you, because they wish death upon me. And just last week in Portland, Oregon, I watched a lady get trapped in her car, surrounded by Antifa, and her sister messaged me after seeing the video. She said, the only reason I think my sister was safe is because you were there recording. I also was chased out by a member of Antifa who said he would smoke me, and next thing he knew, a DHS sniper had lasers on his chest. If he was not there, who knows what would have happened that day. These people are very dangerous.
Oh, this is that guy, yeah.
How they're able to do it. It's the reason is because these cities are not enforcing the law. And why should these people be worried if the law is not being enforced? And we are not far right, nor are we far wrong. We're just right. And the truth about what's happening here in America with these groups is very dangerous. And I thank you, Mr. President, and your administration as well for acknowledging that.
Thank you very much. It's too bad you have to go through it.
I know, it's
thank
a
you
little
very
crazy,
much.
right, Mr. President?
Well, you're going to get to the bottom of it, so it's a very important thing you're doing. Thank you very much. Please, Kim.
Yeah, I've just got something very short. I'm attacked every time I do my job. When I leave my house to go to work, I am violently assaulted. I've had guns pulled on me. I've been bear sprayed. I've been beaten down. I've been almost killed.
Wait,
my
every time he goes to work? Wait,
how would you feel?
Wait, that's a little crazy. Wait, every time?
If every time you showed up to work, masked militants tried to kill you. Because that's how we feel. That's our lived reality. And you guys go and tell us that we're liars, the riots aren't that bad, right? I've never seen any of you guys on the ground. In fact, I've never seen anybody representing the companies
is he like a ICE person or
you work for on the ground. You guys come to us for interviews that never get published. Stop saying we're lying. We're not. We risk our lives every day to do the job that you guys are too afraid to do.
Oh, he's a journalist.
What network would you say is the worst, if I could ask?
Oh, come on, Trump. Oh, is that really necessary? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, that's a real tight spot.
Honestly, it's a simple question. And it's just,
Well, there's a lot of people in this pool, and I would say I'm not talking about Fox. I'm not talking about Newsmax or any
come on,
outlet
just
that is.
answer
I'm
it,
just gonna let you
man.
guys put the pieces together on who I'm exactly
who would
talking
you
about.
say? Which network?
There we go,
MSNBC
good.
for
He's-
sure.
Oh, they're terrible.
Oh,
I agree.
MSNBC.
Yeah.
That would have been my guess too.
I'd rate it that way,
MSNBC.
yeah. MS,
They're pretty bad.
NBC. That's
No,
Brian Roberts.
MSNBC is
Yeah.
definitely
That he
worse
allows that to happen
than
is a
CNN.
disgrace.
Absolutely.
And CNN is second.
Yeah,
I would
second.
say CNN is not quite as bad as MS.
MSNBC is not
What
really a
about
news
others?
site anymore.
Oh, MSNBC.
The funny thing is, MSNBC is literally in the room right now. Like they're literally there in the room, and like CNN's literally there in the room, and they're just talking shit about
They're
them.
sick.
Yeah.
They're sick.
Well, sir, it's also just the stories that they publish
so funny,
about
dude.
what's the ICE enforcement operations that are so heavily slanted that it's no longer, as I was saying, no longer just Antifa, but Americans that are becoming radicalized. So they've been very irresponsible with how they've been reporting
Who
on
is
it.
that?
MSNBC,
I
for
just, guys,
example.
I just, like, I know you guys are arguing in chat and stuff like that. I find it incredible that Annie No gets a fracture to the head. The other lady gets fucking hit in the face with a pole, and there's all these cases of all of these journalists, just with the other guy with the whole laser sight thing, just getting like absolutely harassed, threatened with violence all the time. And you see it too. Like Andy No has been attacked so many times at this point. It's actually crazy. It's like every time he goes, I was like, oh, is he gonna get like attacked again? Right? You see this happen all the time, and it's just so crazy. Like people running defense for them. Like it's so weird. Look, it's so weird. I don't. How is this possible? How is this possible that people are against them trying to do something about it? The whole purpose of this is like to find out like what the problem is, and then they're making their appeals to Trump, saying like, please help us because like all of this stuff is happening, and like people are against that. So like, people are siding with what the Antifa people is. How is this possible? How is this? Guys, how is this possible?
Would you rate them the worst?
Probably.
Who would you rate second?
Well, they ran a story about an operation in Southern California about how a father of 3 Marines was arrested, and they made it seem like they just did it because he's brown. But there's video of that same man charging at the agents with a weed whacker. Now, I've worked with weed whackers back in the day, and you don't want to be.
Oh, and you always hear this too. You always hear this too. Well, what is Antifa anyway? Antifa is not a person. It's a concept. It's an idea. It's just nebulous thing, bro. Stop gaslighting me. Stop gaslighting me. We can all see it. We can all see that they group up. They group up. They have chapters. Holy fuck.
On the receiving end of one of those. So that's why he was arrested, but the story was presented as if it's
the
a
no
brown guy
true Antifa fallacy. Yeah, exactly.
just simply being arrested. And I've been around ICE agents, and I'm a citizen, so I feel fine. But it's just that's why. It's not just Antifa. It's not happening in a vacuum. It's
working in conjunction. I think they work in conjunction with some of the media. I think ABC is very bad. I think NBC is very bad. And CBS has a new owner, so we have hope for CBS. CBS has a great new owner, my opinion. But I will tell you, ABC is terrible. NBC is terrible. NBC's.
Yeah, that's right, Dr. Hayes. What are you gonna believe? What are you gonna believe? What you see with your own eyes, or what I'm telling you see?
MSNBC too.
Holy
they
fuck.
changed it. They moved it over legally so they couldn't be tainted by the words MSNBC, but they are absolutely terrible. There are a lot of them. What about independents?
Bunch of philosophers and scholars, right?
They're a little bit
Antifa.
better, but I would say that we're an example of how you don't need to be part of a super large company to be able to do just basic journalism. All you got to do is sit and record, and you'll let the story play out. And that's why they hate us. That's why Antifa
Well, I
targets
watched
us.
a level of dishonesty that's incredible, where answers are changed. Like just before the election, an answer was changed by Kamala. She gave a horrible, death-defying, election-defying answer, and they took the answer out and they replaced it with another answer that she gave 5 minutes later, having to do with a different subject, but at least it wasn't election-defying. No, the level of dishonesty with the media is incredible, whether it's on Antifa or many of the other groups. You know, you're talking about Antifa, and I know that's close to your heart because that's the one that's most affecting you, but there are others that are as bad or almost as bad as Antifa, having to do with different people, different sections of the world, but it's terrible. We're not going to let it go on in this country. We're not going to let it go on. And a big problem is not all of them, but some of the networks out there. And you do wonder why. You really do. Okay, please. Go ahead, yeah.
Mr. President, thank you again.
Thank you.
My name's Jonathan Cho. I am an
You
investigative
said that
reporter
you
for
said that
Frontline.
Trump called the mainstream media terrorists. You got like you got a source on that? What outlet said that? Yeah, I mean like terrorist simps maybe. I mean it's not really like the same thing.
Turning Point USA. I'm also a senior fellow at Discovery Institute in Seattle, and I cover far-left extremism as well as the homeless drug crisis in America. And I find it oftentimes those worlds intersect. And hot off the presses, what I wanted to bring to your attention today is a report from a Capital Research Center here in
I know a lot of people that are sympathetic towards Antifa, but I don't think they're terrorists.
DC, in conjunction with Discovery Institute, they just put out this study right now, and what it shows is that Antifa is heavily embedded in the homeless and housing nonprofit sector. In many cases, the homeless industrial complex is running cover for Antifa. Antifa is benefiting from American tax dollars, and they're essentially being used as the muscle. Let me give you an example. There's a group called Stop the Sweeps in many U.S. cities right now. They get in front of encampment sweeps. What they're doing quietly is they're bringing in Antifa militants to manufacture a crisis to make the police look bad. Another group right now that is behind Antifa and working with Antifa very closely, based on the research that we have right now that we're going to give to you and your team, are the Democratic Socialists of America, also known as DSA. Again, these far-left progressive groups tend to be aligning themselves with Antifa. So finally, in closing, what I wanted to thank you again, Mr. President, is that a few months ago, earlier this year, you put out an executive order on homelessness and the drug addiction crisis in America, and that's sent the entire homeless industrial complex on the run. You have absolutely moved the needle and changed the game. But what's also come out, again, is that there is a connection, a deeply embedded connection with the homeless housing nonprofit game in America, connected to Antifa and the far-left activists. And finally, I just wanted to say that all of our resources at Turning Point USA and Discovery Institute are at your disposal, and we will continue, again, to carry on the legacy of Charlie Kirk. He would have...
What I wonder like how would you define terrorist? Like, if you don't think that Antifa is terrorist, how would you define it? Just curious.
Wanted us to pursue and chase the story.
Well, he was a good friend of mine, as you know, and he helped us get elected. It really is us. It's even some of them, but not too many of them, not enough of them. And did you notice when we mentioned CNN and MSDNC, the cameras went off. 2 of the cameras immediately went off, but they're not going to cover it anyway. The problem we have is that this is a very important meeting, but you'll see very little press about it. These are major statements being made by major people, including the people right here, and you're not going to see too much about it. They don't like to cover this kind of thing. So it's very dishonest what's going on there. I think the press is a big factor. Please, go ahead. Thank you, James.
Mr. President, thank you so much for having us all here to bring attention to this matter. You know, you did mention MSDNC, CNN, a handful of those other outlets that have been lying about, various things, but especially what ICE, the brave men and women over at ICE have been doing.
Sick with it.
I was
Vinny says Leaflit ban the retard. I don't ban people for being retarded. I don't do that ever. I only ban people for, well, that's not true. I do ban people for being retarded, but it's like usually a combination of things. Like simply being retarded doesn't mean I ban you. You have to be disruptive as well, like in the sense of that, like you're just saying curse words, you're just saying like slurs or something like that. Then I'll ban.
Talking to Antifa members in Portland the other day, and a lot of these people genuinely believe, they buy these lies, and they genuinely believe that they're fighting against literal Nazis and not brave men and women that are putting their lives on the line to basically, enforce basic
I'm fine with people disagreeing and people having like disputes and like debates in chat. I'm fine with it.
immigration law, right? That everyone seemed to agree with up until maybe a few years ago, a handful of years ago. So once again, thank you so much for having me. My name is James Klug. While my primary job is traveling around the country, having conversations with Americans about various political topics and issues, I have had a lot of run-ins with Antifa over the last 5 years. And I do think that Antifa is a primary reason why many conservatives are afraid to go out and protest and make their voices heard and maybe bring friends and family to a demonstration and exercise their First Amendment right, because they are literally deathly afraid. And I talk to these people all the time. They're afraid of militants showing up in black bloc and hurting them and their families. And, I've personally witnessed Antifa assaulting hundreds of police officers. I've witnessed them firebombing police departments and federal property. I've witnessed them making death threats against federal agents, police officers, journalists. I think I've witnessed every single person here, maybe not personally, but I've seen them get, hunted down and attacked. And so, this is a group that is responsible for a good percentage, if not a majority, of the violent riots in 2021 and 2020, when Democrat mayors had a kind of a hands-off approach with these left-wing militants. Just as a quick reminder for everybody, we're talking about dozens of murders that happened in those riots. We're talking.
Yo, Car Cable, thank you so much. Thank you for 500 bits. Thank you so much. Why wouldn't it be in the interest of a foreign influence to use groups like this, influence political division, and destabilize and ruin the nation from within? The most obvious examples would be espionage, spies, and what have you. But what do you think spies do? Unconventional warfare methods, financial warfare, political warfare. Yeah, it makes total sense, especially if you're weaker, right? So the thing you have to consider is that America, like, we're by far the strongest when it comes to like military shit. Like we could probably take on like, I want to say almost everyone easily. Even if a few of them were combined, we could still take them out. I think so. Yeah, we can like basically fight everyone on Earth. So like because of that, it's like you can't really fight, right? You don't fight minus nukes, yeah, because if you once you nuke, it's kind of over for everybody at that point. But yeah, you don't really want to use the world-ending weapon. The world-ending weapon is just there to be like a final, like, okay, this is a little bit too far, right? But basically, you don't fight the strongest person in a show of force. You have to backstab. You have to do some kind of like subterfuge. You have to go for the sneak attack. Like, this is the only way to do it. You can't really just fight. Like, you can't just say like, okay, bro, 1v1 me. Like, you can't do that. You have to find some way to weaken, destabilize. You have to use subterfuge, basically. So the best way for other countries that are our enemies to get at us is to actually destabilize us.
Talking about billions of dollars of damage to property and communities all over the country.
Because if they actually shot a missile with us, they would be so fucking dead. Basically, like it would be bad. It would be apocalyptic for them, basically.
Thousands of officer injuries. So this isn't just like some little thing that they're, they
That's
punch
what terrorism is, by the way. That's what all the terrorism is about. It's because they can't fight us straight up. So then they're gonna like do terrorism to destabilize and demoralize. That's basically how it works.
Journalists here and there, no, they're responsible for a lot of damage, and a lot of people that have, unfortunately died. And
that's true. Even if they do make landfall, even if they make landfall on us, now you have to deal with like a large percentage of the population having more guns than the amount of family members in their house. Especially like once you get to like freaking Texas and you start to get to middle America, holy fuck.
Suppressing people's voices, And so what I did want to talk about is to get this footage, almost every single person in the room here, to get this footage, you have to go undercover because you are at risk of being beaten or worse. You have to go undercover. You have to film low key to capture them committing crimes. This is stuff that the mainstream media was not doing and has not been doing. They'll show when Antifa is maybe, it's a little bit more peaceful.
Drones,
and
yeah,
show...
well, drones are really strong and really scary. But the thing kind of keeping drones back right now is they're relatively expensive. They use materials that are not super available. So that's like at least a good thing. Like compared to like bullets, right? Like bullets in a rifle, like it lasts way longer. Like drones, they expand basically when you use them for now. But we'll see.
When it's more mellow, but they'll remove the cameras when things get violent and it's actually dangerous to be here. And I have personally witnessed legacy media vans showing up at a riot 300 yards away, getting out of the vehicle, filming for 30 seconds, saying something like, fiery but mostly peaceful, packing up, and to add insult to injury, you have...
I think your country has a bigger problem with children dying than politicians dying. That's true, actually. We do have a lot of abortion, so that's true. You're actually right about that, actually, Hazel. That we do kill a lot of kids in America. It's true.
Democrat politicians that are saying it's just an idea, right? That's all this is. So it's just an idea. After all of this chaos, it's just an idea. Well, that idea has threatened to...
I wasn't talking of abortion. Yo, just take the win. I gave you a win, bro. Just take it. Just take it.
Kill me and many of my friends that are here today. So, Mr. President, thank you so much for bringing this to the forefront. And
take the W,
it's
bro.
definitely making a big change. Really appreciate you.
One question. So why is it there are numerous groups? I mean, Antifa is terrible, but you have other groups that I guess probably are almost as bad or just as bad. Not one other group was mentioned. I'm sort of surprised at that. You just come into contact with Antifa? It seems to be that you mostly come into contact with Antifa, please.
There's a lot of overlap, and I would say that, for instance, Jonathan brought up the Democratic Socialists of America. They're basically the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of Democratic Socialists of America who are out there in black bloc, hiding their faces. And so I think we use, and I do understand, for the record, I do understand the challenge, as Andy pointed out, with Antifa as a graspable entity. I do. But at the end of the day, when you look at...
I'm not gonna lie, I really want to get in debate with someone about abortion. Because I think abortion is like the most unwinnable argument. It's actually so bad. I don't even know how you would defend it, really. It's so unwinnable.
Behavior. You prosecute behavior, right? We're not prosecuting ideas or ideology. You're prosecuting behavior. So whether you can prove that this amorphous thing is Antifa or someone has a patch that says Antifa, it doesn't matter. Did they assault someone? Did they assault a federal agent? Were they engaged in rioting? What is it? And so they're always using that. Oh, well.
What about rape victims? Okay. So what if we said that for rape victims that it's fine? Then would you agree to it? Like, we make a law where abortion is fully illegal, but in the case of rape and incest, we make a special carve out where, fine, it's okay with that. Then would you accept it? 90% of people say no to that. So then I can say, okay, so that's not what it's really about then.
Call themselves Antifa, even though some of them literally do. It's called Rose City Antifa. How long has it been around in Portland, Andy?
And then even if they wanted to argue that, I could still argue it as well, because then you go into the argument of like, well, is the child guilty of the father's crimes? You can go into like that argument as well.
Since 2007.
They call themselves Antifa. In Seattle, I was outside the federal building, and they were yelling, "There's no police here. This is Antifa land." And then at the same time, Democrats, like our governor, "Oh, Antifa is an idea." But yeah, I think Antifa can overlap with a lot of other entities and organizations.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You know, President Trump, I just wanted to add this real quick, because you were asking which mainstream media outlet is the worst. What I think...
In the case to save a woman's life, well, that one, nobody disagrees with that, because in that case, it's a life versus a life. And it's kind of like, you're kind of making a bad decision versus, you're making kind of, like you have to save one of them, right? So it becomes that kind of an argument. And it just becomes a tragedy at that point.
It's any of them that decided to call Kilmar Abrego Garcia Maryland dad.
That like basically never happens, by the way. Like that happening is like insanely rare. It's like way more rare than like the grape and incest argument. It's like, it's especially with like modern technology, it basically never happens.
Because when I'm out there on the street talking to these people, you know, they call Maryland dad is this human, he's actually a human trafficking MS-13 gang member that's illegally in the country. But the amount of people on the street that I spoke with that thought that he was a U.S. citizen that was being deported to Uganda is dangerous. These people genuinely believe, based on what comes out of the garbage standing over here, that you guys are deporting U.S. citizens. So that's what's causing all these problems.
Guys, guys, I'll explain to you the abortion argument like real fast. It's very simple. Basically, on one hand, you have the life of a person, and on the other hand, you have responsibility. And it's like, that's what it is, basically. Almost all abortion is for not wanting to take responsibility. That's almost all of it. Is trying to trying to get away from the consequences of your actions. That's almost all abortion. And then like people don't want to talk about that specific case. They always want to talk about some fringe case that like has nothing to do with like 99.9% of cases.
Governor like Pritzker in Chicago, where you have Illinois, which is in a lot of trouble. Chicago's there, you know, potentially a great city again. It's not great now, but it
says I'm definitely against using abortion as a get out of the. I did the fun, sexy times and gamble and lost. Yeah, exactly. The thing is like birth control isn't 100%. The only thing you can do is to just not have sex, basically.
Great again. That's why we have to get there soon, because eventually you can't do.
It's like that UMA thing, you know, when you take that thing where it's like you get like 30 energy. You get 30 energy, but you got like the 10% chance of slow metabolism. Sometimes it procs, you know. Feels bad.
What makes a man like that say that things are wonderful? Why doesn't he say?
Except it's pregnant. It's like.
We love that President Trump is going to come and help us clean up Chicago and make it safe again, as opposed to fighting us and pretending that there weren't 50 murders and 200 shootings and all of that. Why is that? Go ahead, Nick.
To spite you. To spite the administration. That's simply what it's about at this point. Because, you know, if you go and talk to some of these citizens, like
I'm serious, guys. That's like almost all of like the case of like people that want pro-abortion. They basically don't want responsibility. They're just gonna come out with they come up with excuses all the time, but it always comes down to responsibility. Every time when you distill all of these arguments down to their, like, once you get into the back and forth of the debate, it always comes down to that. Well, I just don't want that because I'm not ready for it or something like that. It's always It's always a responsibility thing at the end. It's the only place for it to go is that they don't want the responsibility of their actions.
Use Portland as an example again, because I've been there for so long now. You talk to the neighbors that live in the apartments next door to the ICE facility. There are veterans with PTSD that live there, and they're here all night long, screaming, fireworks being lit off by these rioters, children crying because they, can't sleep at night and they're scared of all the noise outside, and they can't leave.
Also, like, I feel like, what I feel is kind of unfair? I feel like it's unfair that if a woman gets accidentally pregnant and she wants to keep the baby, then it's the guy's responsibility to take care of her decision. But then if the guy wants to keep the baby, then the woman still can refuse the responsibility of like her actions. So it's kind of weird to me that like we expect men to like pay child support, but then they have no say in whether or not the baby is born or not. Just seems weird to me.
They can't, they got a lease. You can't just leave.
Because if you want to say, well, for the woman, it's a lifelong thing. Well, for the man, it's a lifelong thing. They pay child support. It's the same thing. Shouldn't a man be able to tell the woman to abort then? If that's the case. It just seems logically consistent that the man should be able to tell the woman, I don't want the baby. You need to abort it. Otherwise, I absolve myself of all payment going forward. It just doesn't seem logically consistent.
These people aren't wealthy individuals, and that's one of the major problems here. And these people are afraid to come out and speak out, and they're getting no help from their government at all. They've been begging for the noise ordinance to be enforced outside of their apartment complex for months now, and the city of Portland has ignored them every single time. The victims are, as I said, they're afraid, but the governments aren't doing anything because they want to spite the administration. It's all political.
And the politicians make you feel like you're foolish, like there's something wrong. How could President Trump be saying that about Chicago? And yet, the night before, you see that, 11 people were shot, 5 people died, and you have him talking about like it's a wonderful situation. They make you feel guilty. And a lot of people don't get over that. They just don't get over it. I think they convince the people. Do wealthy people leave too or not? Places like Portland, are the wealthy people leaving? People that can leave, are they leaving?
I think that they're moving to the areas that have been gentrified. I mean, the Oregon...
Yes, men have less reproductive rights. Yes. I guess on the flip side, you guys do have you guys do have a monopoly on force, so balanced, I guess. I don't know.
When she was saying, we don't need Trump
Game
here.
balance.
She's walking around. It's a very tight shot, if you notice that. And she said, Portland's just fine. Look at me. And they'll focus on the couple areas of Portland that are very nice.
Well, she was saying that, and there were explosions in the background.
Yeah. I mean, there was a reason they cropped it in.
Explosions.
Everything is men's fault, if you think about it.
In the background. Sure. Anybody have anything else to say?
Because men have total force monopoly and they enforce everything. So if something happens, it's you guys' fault.
Yeah. And then
Eve? Oh, you mean Eve? Well, Adam should have controlled that shit. Listen, if he just punched Eve in the face, then it wouldn't have happened. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay. Am I wrong? Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm just telling the truth.
Should we be taking questions, or is it just a waste of time?
Because he could have done it. He could have done it, and he didn't.
They can ask questions, but well, there's Brian. He's good. But you know what? In a way, it's a waste of time because if you give a great answer, they don't put it on. If you give a horrendous answer, or even if you give a great answer, they make it sound like it's not a great answer. They're very dishonest. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah.
You can use force doctrine to blame everything on men. You can, actually. That's the sad thing. See, that is the that's the Achilles heel of the force doctrine, okay? Because if you can claim that if you can claim that all rights come from men, then that means everything is men's fault.
I think part of that dishonesty comes from what they see. For instance, I've never been asked to go on any other show besides Fox News. My clips go viral everywhere, but they've never even asked, like CNN's never asked, MSNBC's never asked. And a lot of times
where's
when I
the
go to
lie?
hotels-
How am I lying, chat? How am I lying? We've advocated for biblical domestic violence. No, I'm just saying that if men have a force monopoly and all rights are enforced by force, then it's men's fault. We only get credit for the bad. No, well, see, what I'm saying is if you get credit for the good and you get the credit for having the ability to enforce women's rights and the ones who created all of women's rights, then it should also be your fault when shit fucks up.
Day and I'll watch like MSNBC.
Fortunately,
How am I wrong, Julio? How am I wrong? How am I wrong? We can use force to blame women? Can use force to blame women? Can use force. That's true. You could force me to take that back. Well, no, actually, that's not true because I could just. Well, no, you can't. You can't actually. You can't force me to change my mind, but you can force me to stop existing. So I would have still have already said it. It's just I would be GG'd after.
Things are terrible.
They are terrible.
MSNBC is dying, and CNN is dying like a dog.
And
Poor CNN. It's so pathetic.
It is very
You
pathetic.
ever see their anchors in the evening that nobody ever heard of them? Where do these people come? I could take anybody off the street in Washington, D.C. that do a better job.
Yeah, and it's not
amazing.
hard to show what's going on these days. You literally have an iPhone and you can post it on X.
They don't believe in the star system, It's just one of those
Thank
things.
you,
right?
Count Kill. Thank you so much. You know, sarcastic video of Leaf debating the most base points using the most out-of-pocket arguments. It's actually, guys, I'm not even like when I'm making this argument. It's not even a philosophical argument. I'm not making a philosophical argument. I'm speaking about reality. And like whether like you can hate me for talking about it and say, wow, Leaf, that's so misogynistic. It's not. It's just reality. That's like saying that the earth is round. It's like saying that the earth is round and that there's stars in the sky and that the earth goes around the sun. It's the same. It's literally the same thing. It's not a meme argument. It's not.
Okay, Nick, you finished, Nick?
Yeah,
Are
thank
you
you very
finished,
much.
Nick? Good job. Thank you very much. Well, you've been through hell.
It's
I tell you
objective
that, but
reality.
you're really incredible patriots, incredible people. Go ahead, please, Brian.
The fact that all rights come from men is objective reality.
Brian, go ahead.
I am so thankful for each and every one of you here right now, and I'm very grateful that my network, Real America's Voice, has partnered up with many of you. Jack Sobin, you have a show on a network, many of you.
Basically, women are not capable of enforcing their own rights because men have a monopoly on physical force because the disparity is too high. The stat difference is too high. I talked about this last stream.
Savannah have appeared on a network as well, so thank you for being here. My question is this, in terms of following the money, I would just notify that the city of Austin is cleared to vote tomorrow to basically waive $120,000.
What if you built me a Gundam? Okay, so here's the thing. Even if you built a Gundam, all the men would have Gundams and all the women would have Gundams. So in that case, you would be, in a world of Gundam combat, you would still take into effect that all the other things around having a Gundam, like the physical requirements, G forces, all of these other things, they also apply. Right. So yeah, and then you would go into like the like who has a better mind for combat and stuff like that. Yeah, you'd have that issue as well. So it's kind of, even in that case, I'll tell you a setting in which women actually would be able to enforce their own rights. That'd be like Wheel of Time. You guys know Wheel of Time? If Wheel of Time was real, then yeah, then women would, it would be the opposite. Women would be the ones who would have women would be the ones who grant rights, basically.
Fee so that a no kings, basically an anti-Trump rally can occur in their city. They're bypassing
So like Wheel
the
of Time is a matriarchy. Current universe Earth, like Earth dimension, whatever the hell you want to call it. This dimension of Earth, this world, this fragment, if you will, is a patriarchy. But if you change the rules a bit, like Wheel of Time, then it would be a matriarchy.
rolling it to the taxpayers. So my question is to you, what can the people of Austin, Texas do right now to make sure that their tax dollars
Because
don't
even, here's the best way to explain it. Even if you had a queen, so say you had a queen, right? Would that really be a matriarchy? At its true, at its like final level, like distilled down, it wouldn't. Because the queen only has power because the men allow her to have power. Because the queen would enforce her rules by having men do it for her. She would be like, guards, men, kill this person, right? But if the men decided, actually, we're going to kill you instead, then she would be fucked, basically. Does that make sense? And even if the queen were able to rally all women to be like, all women to my side, we're going to go kill these men, the men would win that. So therefore the men have all of the power. Does that make sense? The queen only has her power because the queen only has the power because it's derived from the men who enforce that power.
A no kings, anti-Trump
It just makes logical sense if you think about it. This is just reality.
rally coming up.
Well, you just tell me that I would love to.
You know, Angel Sword setting is the most equal by lore because of Spirit Core and Magic. Well, honestly, Shai, even in Angel Sword, it's not equal because there's still the physical force aspect, and since there is no explicit thing giving men more power, it's more equal though. It is definitely like Angel Sword is more equal than Earth, current reality. Angel Sword is more equal than that, but it's still not totally equal, right? It would only be equal if there were some kind of, I don't know, it wouldn't, I guess I don't know. It wouldn't be equal, I think, because you still have the physical strength advantage, right?
Yeah. Do something about.
No, she's talking about the setting because the setting is so in the world of Angel Sword, there's actually a lore behind why women can be adventurers. If you guys didn't know that, there's actually like an entire lore thing about it. The reason why women can be adventurers in Angel Sword is because the first adventure, the very, very first adventurer was actually a woman. And the reason she was called the first adventurer is because she was the one that discovered that magic could be used to augment physical stuff. So basically, like, the story is that like there was this girl and she had a dad, and her dad was like an explorer, and she wanted to be an explorer, but like her dad was like, sorry, like it's too physically like taxing for you. And she basically studied magic from her mom. And then she learned that she discovered that you could use magic to augment your muscles. So she became the first she was the one who basically invented the adventuring arts, which is using using magic to enhance physical skill rather than using it as like a projection thing. So that's why there's female knights in Angel Sword, because they use magic to like buff their muscles. Yeah, it's magic doping. Yeah, basically. That's why people in Angel Sword can jump like 50 feet into the air, because they use magic basically. Didn't people adventure before that? Yeah. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, in the sense of the definition of adventuring, yes. But adventure is a very specific term in the setting. So the term adventure like refers to like the people who used that magic. And there's a whole lore entry on it. If you want to read it, I can give you the link. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'm a developer for an RPG. It's a tabletop RPG, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. And I did a whole lore thing about like why women could be adventurers. So I feel like in a lot of settings, women are just as strong as men for like no reason. And I kind of wanted an explanation for it in Angel Sword. So when I wrote the lore for it, that's why I made it so that the base of all combat is using enhanced magic enhancement, basically.
That, bring a lawsuit, do something. The best thing you can do is have honest elections, because the elections are totally rigged in so many.
Shai says it makes sense. It makes internal sense for the lore for why a player can pick whatever race and sex they want with no penalty. Yeah. So like there's fairies. There's like fairies that are like 6 inches tall in Angel Sword. And the reason why they can be warriors and they can fight like a human, even though like the human is way bigger than them, is because they have more magic basically. So they fight on an equal level by buffing all of their attacks. That's why like a little fairy knight, basically when they swing their little tiny sword, it has the same force as like a big sword. Yeah, like Ant-Man. Yeah, kind of.
These places, you take a look. The people, they're all loving you. They can't breathe. They love so much. Every one of them. You don't see one negative. Then all of a sudden you lose the election by 20 points. The elections are so rigged, and we proved that in 2020. More than any other time. But even the last election, there were areas that I won by much more. We won in a landslide, but I actually won in more of a landslide than we thought. I said, you got to get out, make it too big to rig. And fortunately, the people made it too big to rig. They tried. But the biggest thing you can do is have honest elections. If you don't have, and you need great media. You need borders. Wait. You need borders.
You like the idea of a fairy being tiny with hyper negative armor, but impossible to hit? Fairies have insane dodge in Angel Sword. They have like the highest dodge in the game. So fairies are that. They have like low HP, but then they have a lot of dodge. They're like super fucking fast.
Honest media, you need honest elections, and you have a great country, and you need all three of them. Yeah, go ahead.
To a lot of these radical groups that you talked about inside here. So thank you for removing.
I would like you to make a big deal, though, if they're waiving a fee, but I guarantee they wouldn't waive it if it was it's not Trump. If it were a conservative rally, they wouldn't be waiving it. So maybe you can look into that, Pam. Todd? That sounds like one for Todd, Pam. Go ahead, Todd. Good luck. Thank you.
What are you talking about? Name a right women took for themselves? She thinks women needs to have... Ooh, Hazel says she thinks women need men to have rights. Yes. That's not an ideological or philosophical point. That is a point of reality. I'm describing reality. That's just the world. All rights come from enforcement. Basically, rights don't exist unless you enforce them. Basically, your rights will be infringed unless you enforce them. Like, you can get mad at me for it, but I'm just telling the truth. All rights come from enforcement. Hold on. But people should be entitled to said right. All rights come from enforcement. There is no entitlement to rights. No. And even rights that like you would say that you're entitled to, like for instance, like if you were like let's say that basically okay, let's say that you're in America, right? And you're saying like, I don't know, I have the right to like not be killed, right? Would that be a right that you would consider? Like, I have a right to not be killed, right? But say like a group of people said, well, too bad, we're gonna kill you anyway. You basically need force to enforce that from not happening. Do you see what I mean? Having use of said rights is different from having rights. Well, you effectively don't have the rights unless they're enforced in like a thing. It's some kind of etherical thing. Like if you're talking about rights, like in their actual, they don't. It doesn't mean anything for you to have rights unless you can enforce it, basically, right? So like, anyway, if a group of people said like we want to kill you, then it's up to whoever the enforcers are to basically enforce that you have those rights. So if a group of people said, I'm gonna come kill you tomorrow, Leaflit, then I would have to appeal to people. I would have to appeal to people to protect my rights to exist, basically. Right? So like there would have to be people that would physically come here and they would have to like stop the other people from killing me. And those people are always men. Almost always men. And if you want to say, yeah, well, there's women cops, yes, but like if first off, that already even on that level, it doesn't really work because I've seen women cops against men. It doesn't work very well. But that being said, all you would have to do is multiply the force. And as far as you multiply the force, the more you multiply the force required on each side, the more it skews towards men having all of the power. So if you were to take it to its logical conclusion of like all men versus all women, the men would win. Do you see what I mean? This is a little bit complicated. But it goes like basically like say you had like 3 women to enforce your rights, right? You would appeal to 5 women to enforce your rights. And then I sent 5 men to enforce and then whatever powers be, send 5 men to take away your rights. The 5 women would lose. So then you would say, well, what if I brought 10 women? Okay, well then maybe you'd win. But then what if they brought 10 men? Right? So basically you could escalate the force all the way up to infinity and the men would win. That's the whole point of it, basically. Link a video of Andrew explaining it. I mean, I suppose you know what? Do you guys want to do that sometime? You guys want to just watch a video of Andrew explaining it because he's way better at it than me. I'm really noob at explaining force doctrine, but like Andrew's like the best, basically. And the thing is you might argue like, well, that could never happen nowadays. What are you talking about? Women have rights nowadays, and there's no way that men could take away their rights. I would just point at the Middle East and be like, you ever seen Afghanistan in like the 70s? How's that going right now? It's like I said, I'm explaining reality. You can hate me for it, but I'm just telling the truth. That's just like the world, basically. And like if you're gonna hate me for that, you're just barking up the wrong tree. You might as well hate like reality at that point.
Who are you with?
I am with
What network?
I'm with Al Arabiya. It's an Arabic network based in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. But I am the foreign pooler today. Mr. President, you said that you might go to the Middle East on Sunday. Do you mean Egypt and Israel? And would you consider going to Gaza to see what things
I
on the
would,
ground?
yeah, I would. I might do that. I may do that. We haven't decided exactly. I'll be going to Egypt.
One thing is I think a lot of people confuse two different. This is a very common problem. Sorry, dude, this video is gonna be so fucked. There's a very common problem, and it's people have a real issue telling the difference between what is and what ought. Oh my God, Rare Mantis literally just said it. Rare Mantis, you fucking get out of my head, bro. But yeah, it's basically people have a difference telling like the difference between what is and what ought to be. So like Just because I say something is doesn't mean I say that it ought to be that way. Does that make sense? Doesn't mean that is a descriptor of reality, whereas ought is like what you wish the future, what you wish it could be. Yeah, explaining reality doesn't mean that you like it. Exactly, right? And it's not that I'm saying that like women suck and that I hate. Obviously, I'm not saying that women suck and like I hate women or something. I'm just saying that that's the reality of the world, right? Yeah. Anyway,
most likely. That's where everybody is gathered right now, and we appreciate that very much. But I'll be making the rounds, as the expression goes. I probably will. Go ahead.
Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Just to clarify, you said you might go to Gaza. You're saying on
who are you with?
Topic. I'm with. I'm
yes, exactly. This reality is why Shai says that reality is why women should be the first to defend gun rights, because they close the violence gap. Dude, the guns have significantly reduced the force gap between men and women in small skirmish. So like it's almost even actually. In terms of like a one-on-one battle with guns, it's almost even at that point. It's almost like negligibly even in like immediate skirmish, immediate one-on-one self-defense scenario. It's almost equal because of guns. And the reason I say that is because, you know, obviously like war is different because war has a lot of logistics involved. Like war, you have to get to specific places. You have to march really, really far, carrying like X amount of weight on you, carrying your food, being able to, there's a lot when it comes to like war. But in a self-defense scenario, a woman with a gun can defend herself against a man. Which is why guns are so fucking OP, basically, for women's rights. I don't think you can simultaneously believe in women's rights and also you can't say that you're a pro women's rights at the same time as being anti-gun. I don't think that's possible. All feminists who are actually for real will be for gun rights. 100%. Otherwise, you're just bullshitting at that point. You're just like kind of fake feminist. You're just making shit up.
The TV pool, but I'm with NBC, sir.
That's too bad.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, just to clarify, you said you might go to Gaza, and then the second question I had earlier today, you said the mayor of Chicago and the governor of Illinois should be jailed. Have you asked the Justice Department to look at possible charges?
No, I've seen.
Feminism is sexism. No, so it depends what you mean, because there's different waves of feminism and there's also different definitions. So I'll define feminism to make it like less nebulous. When I say feminism, I mean that you care about equality between men and women, as close to as you can get. As close to as you can get within the confines of like the reality we live in. You want as much equality between men and women as possible. Yes, that's what I mean basically. So that also includes like if men have a negative, like for instance with with things that ail men, I would care about those as well. Does that make sense? It's not really like a one-sided thing. So like in cases where men have less rights than women, I would fight for the men's rights in that case. So that's what I mean by like actual, like, that's why I'm defining it, right? Because if you talk to other people about feminism, they might just be like feminazis, right? Like, to use like the term. Obviously, I don't mean that they're literally Nazis, but I'm defining it so you can understand what I'm talking about.
I've seen the law, and when you have a group of people where the police call off the safety for ICE officials, I've understood that, and I've read it today in numerous journals, that that's illegal. What they did is I guess it was ICE, Christie, right? They were under threat.
Until feminism is about men's rights the same amount with women's things, it's not equality. I mean, yeah, which is why I defined it for you. Yeah, listen to my definition of feminism. That's what I'm talking about. So however you want to define it, that's how I'm defining it as.
And the police were helping beautifully, and it was fine. And then all of a sudden, a woman was on the line saying, everybody, move back, get out. And they were given an order by the second person in the police department, and the governor knew about it, the mayor knew about it. I understand that's a criminal offense. Do you want to comment on that, Christy?
Leaflit, do you think women have more rights than men or privileges? Yes. Yes,
sir, we're seeing that kind of pattern happen with local law enforcement and state law enforcement, not just in Illinois, but also out.
So I had to think about it.
In Oregon too. In fact, in Portland.
I might change my mind on that. Like I'm not so sure. I'd have to like actually. There's a lot to parse there, but my gut instinct is to say yes.
I was there yesterday, but some of the ICE officers were telling me that as they drove by the rioters that were saying kill ICE agents, Molotov cocktails, melt ICE, that the Portland police were cheering them on and had their fists in the air cheering on the rioters that were threatening their lives. So in Chicago, we had a 10-car caravan trail our ICE.
But I would also say that minorities have more privileges as well. I'd say that minorities are more privileged personally. So
officials and pin them
by
down.
law.
And those ICE officials, to get out of their vehicles, a woman tried to ram them and run them over, and shots were fired to get them to safety. So it's happening on a regular basis, and any elected official that allows this to happen and gives cover to those kind of individuals who are perpetuating murder should absolutely be prosecuted, in my opinion.
Bros and sisses, this fucking video is cooked.
Daniel. And by the way, we have Marco Rubio. Marco, come on up here, please.
Yeah, that fun
He's gonna
talk.
bring
That
a
was
little
fun.
Stability to this group. Come on up. Does everybody know Marco Rubio? Is there anybody that doesn't? Some of the reporters don't. That's why they shouldn't be reporters.
Which job is he here for today,
Come
sir?
on up here, Marco. Anything we should know about the Middle East?
That's what we're hoping to talk to you about here, Mr. President.
He's doing a good job. He was born for this job, I can tell you. Daniel, please.
Thank you very much. I have two questions for you, if that's okay. Seamus talked a little bit about the money aspect of this. Do you believe if you go after where the money is coming from with Antifa, in regards to Antifa, do you believe that would be similar to cutting the head off the snake, so to speak? And
It would help. I don't know that it would be totally complete, but it would certainly, you'd knock out 75%.
I don't think that they spend that much money.
85%. These people, a lot of
I feel like they can spend a lot of money, but I feel like they don't need to.
them don't believe it. You know,
You
when
still have
they,
to go after
I watch them. I say I can almost tell a
individuals.
pro by they're like professionals. That's all they do, and they get paid by somebody. I think it would knock out a lot of it. Yeah, not all of it, maybe, but a
You need
lot
to
of
send people to jail, to be honest.
A lot of the people who we've listened to over the last hour, they've emphasized that Antifa, it's not necessarily this big organized thing. It's a bit ambiguous. It's deorganized. I think that's one of the words that Andy used. What is the challenges of going after a group that makes it intentionally difficult to go after and find? That could be for you, the Attorney General, anyone up there.
Well, they're smart people, and they deceive. A lot of them are crooked people. A lot of them have been staying out of trouble their whole lives, and they've been bad from the day they were born, frankly. But these are sick people. Pam, go ahead, please.
Well, they're smart, but they're not smart enough. Oh, my microphone's broken. They're smart, but they're not smart enough. They have been covered by these liberal cities for so many years. And that's why we're all working with Treasury, with all these different
Do I
departments.
think Gold City is skanky? A little bit.
To find the criminal conspiracy.
Okay. I'm just giving. Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly. So I will take a couple of more questions.
I love every time that happens. I'm going to take some more questions. It always sounds like that.
Please.
Thank you, sir. I also have two questions for you, if I may. Have you given any more thought to possibly suspending habeas corpus to not only deal with these insurrectionists across the nation, but also to continue rapidly deporting illegal aliens?
Yeah, it's suspending who?
Habeas corpus, sir.
Oh, I don't know. I'd rather leave that to Christie. What do you think?
No, sir, I haven't been a part of any discussions on that.
All right, go ahead.
In the ceasefire
This is CNN speaking, by
God,
the way.
what a bunch of pick-me's, am I right?
So,
Are you
this is one of the worst
Holy
reporters
shit.
that you'll ever see. I don't even want to take a question. It's a waste of time. Go ahead.
How will you decide which workers get back pay and which workers do not?
Well, we're going to see. Most of them are going to get back pay, and we're going to try and make sure of that. But some of them are being hurt very badly by the Democrats, and they therefore won't qualify. Go ahead, please.
They're like really good though at like stopping though. Like right after he calls on someone, everyone shuts up at least.
Foreign Antifa organizers and funders who are located overseas.
Go ahead in the yellow, please.
So the Nobel Peace Prize will be announced on Friday. You've been nominated by many world
By many, many countries. That's right.
That's right.
Do you think you will win?
I have no idea.
I don't think he's gonna
I
win.
did settle.
I would
Marco
be
will tell you we
shocked if he
settled,
won,
7
honestly.
wars.
I think he
We're
deserves
close to
it, but
settling an eighth.
I don't.
And I
I
think
don't
we'll
know.
end up settling the Russia situation, which is horrible. 7,000 people died last week, by the way, in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. I think we'll settle.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I hope he wins because can you imagine? Oh my God, can you imagine the rage? Can you imagine the fields? The fields of far left libs, as far as the eye can see, the screaming. Oh my God, it'd be beautiful. It would be biblical. Holy crap.
That, so I don't think anybody in history has settled that many, but perhaps they'll find a reason not to give it to me. Perhaps they will. Thank you.
Going to the shutdown quickly, what is your position on the extension of healthcare subsidies, which is what Democrats are asking for?
All I want to do is very simple. I want to get the country open, and then we're going to discuss that. And we'd like to. Obamacare is a horrible mess, and it has been from the beginning. We want to make it better, stronger, even if it costs more money, we want to make it better. The Democrats want to make it worse. The Democrats want to approve health care for illegals coming into our country, many of them coming in from prisons and mental institutions and drug dealers.
It's bullshit.
They want to give them health care. We don't want that.
We should still give healthcare to people. So not healthcare, but like emergency stuff. So like if like an illegal person got hurt, we should still save them, obviously. But I think we should ship them back immediately and then build the country that they're from. And then if they don't pay it, then we tariff the fuck out of them. We tariff the fuck out of them, or we I don't know, whatever. Yeah,
because that's going to destroy the health care that we already have. We'd like to make Obamacare better for people, less expensive.
It's such a good idea. Think about it. It's such a good idea because it encourages the other country. It encourages the other country to like heavily punish people that do that try to illegally go to the United States, and also it discourages them from it encourages them to increase their border security. Like for example, Mexico. Yeah.
Healthcare, yes, ma'am.
Mr. President, I'm wondering if you've been briefed on the organization and funding of Antifa, and if so, what have you learned?
I have been, and they have pretty good knowledge, but they're going to have a very good knowledge. And I really ask these very brave patriots that we're surrounded with today
Have a
to
good rest.
let us know, because I think you probably have some pretty good ideas. And even if you're not sure, let us know, and we'll figure it out. Okay, if you could do that. You're from Italy?
No, I'm from France.
Oh.
Can you specify how close?
fuck, I'm gonna piss myself. Oh my god, dude. Dude, the O. The O.
You're from Italy?
No, I'm from France. Can you specify how close we are to the deal?
Oh.
Will that be announced today or tomorrow? And do you want to see the hostages
Oh my
released
God,
before you
dude.
travel to the region?
I
No,
love
I think
it.
I'll probably go maybe
Oh my god. How does this keep happening?
before the
Thanks, Kick Bros.
hostages are
Thank you.
released or shortly thereafter, pretty much shortly thereafter. Yeah, please.
Participating in the negotiation.
Go ahead. Who are you with? Who are you with?
The Center Square. I had the honor of asking you originally if you would designate Antifa a terror organization. And I stand here before you today, and I'm echoing what Andy said over here. Are you going to work with your administration as the Secretary of State's here? Are you going to work with your administration to designate it a foreign terror organization?
You mean a terror? Antifa?
A foreign terror organization.
Well, has that been done? Pretty close, right? Would you like to see it done?
Yes, Mr. President.
Do you think it would help?
They have foreign
I'd be
links
glad
all
to
across
do it. I
Western
think it's
Europe.
the kind of thing I'd like to do. If you'd like, does
Middle
everybody
East.
agree? If you agree, I agree. Let's get it done, okay? Let's
Holy
get it done.
shit.
Marco, we'll take.
Dude, that. Oh man, that's a fucking escalation right there. That's really spicy. Holy fuck. That's actually insane. No, because that just means that they have a lot more authority to like fuck people up, basically. That's crazy. I'd have to think about that. I mean, he's not technically wrong. I need more time to think about this. But technically, he's not. Technically, he's not wrong. That there are a lot of foreign ties. I guess they would have to like really prove that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know enough about Antifa's origins to actually say on there. But it is a drastic escalation. Like I'm a little bit like whoa. Even I'm a little bit like whoa. That's a little crazy. But like. I don't know enough about it. I should probably look into like how they're formed and stuff and like where it came from.
Care of it.
Mr. President.
If they actually do have foreign funding, then yeah.
International, you mean?
Yes.
International.
President.
Sounds good to me. Steve, are you okay?
You know,
with it?
though, it makes sense, though. It makes sense because if I were another country that hated America, I would definitely fund Antifa. Like if you hated America, you would definitely fund Antifa. You would have to be retarded to not.
Yes, it's true. There are extensive foreign ties, and I think that would be a very valid step to take.
Good, I think so too.
Yes.
Good, I think it's a good point. Thank you.
President Trump, are you planning on personally participating in this?
On the shutdown, we are now about 1 week away from military service members missing their paychecks.
We'll always take care of our military.
Would you encourage Congress to pass a standalone bill to pay our service members?
Yeah, that probably will happen. We don't have to worry about it yet. That's a long time. You know what 1 week is for me? An eternity. 1 week for me is a long time. We'll take care of it. Our military
Dude, with
is
how
always going to be
fast the
taken care
news
of.
moves?
Yeah, please. Blue dress, blue.
President, Rebecca with Blaze News. I'm curious to know, so you're talking about the money funding these Antifa organizations, and somebody brought up Roy Singham.
Yeah, it hasn't even been a year yet since Trump has been president. Hasn't been one single year.
It was you, who, by the way, is married to one of the co-founders of Code Pink, this infamous left-wing organization. I'm curious to know the administration.
Who is that? Who is that?
Roy
Where is-
Singham. He's married to.
No, did you say they're here?
No, he's not. A journalist brought him up, but he
Oh, I
is.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jameis, thank you.
Good bring up.
Excellent.
Go ahead.
He's somebody who's been reported on extensively, and I'd love to know what the administration is going to do to actually bring consequences to some of these names. You mentioned.
Well, I don't know the name, but I would like to ask Pam to take a look at it. You know, a lot of the best information we find are through you and other people like you. So I'd like you to look at it, Pam. In the back, please.
It's been actually very
compelling proof that Antifa did infiltrate on January 6th, dressed up like Trump supporters and incited violence. Is that something that you would want the new J6 committee at Congress to look
That should be the DLC. The Antifa DLC.
Well,
Yeah.
I've heard that. They dress up like, they're fresh out of MAGA, but they have nothing to do with MAGA. And they make trouble and they try and blame it. And yeah, we know some of that and we will be acting on some of that. We've seen it. So I think you could stay a little longer, but the problem is, although you have some very honest journalists in here, you also have some largely dishonest journalists like MSDNC and CNN. I think they're very dishonest, unbelievably, like a waste of time even talking.
He has to like shit on them like every fucking opportunity.
Into him. But
so funny.
I have
Oh
to
my
go now
God.
and try and solve some problems in the Middle East, although I'm very well represented by our Secretary of State. He could probably do an even better job than me.
I would not like being a MSNBC or CNN in these.
If you'd like,
always
Pam, would you
getting
like to
shitted
stay
on.
for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes while we have all these great people? And I'll let Pam and Christy take over and get some good points out. I just want to thank the people around the table in particular. You've been amazing. You've been brave. You're real patriots. You're real patriots. And at some point, we're going to have to look into, at least in certain cases, rewarding you with some very important medals and honors, okay?
Ooh,
as we
nice.
have done, and we'll be doing with Charlie Kirk. Charlie is getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is our highest award outside of the Congressional Medal of Honor. And I think they're sort of even. One's civilian and one's military. But unfortunately, the civilian sometimes is military also because of what we have to go through on the streets of this country. I can only tell you this. We have a great nation. We have a nation that's right now the hottest in the entire world. We're the hottest nation in the world, despite all of the things we've been saying today. But that's going to make your job easier because nobody's doing better than we are financially. We've never done better. We've had, I think, 58 stock market increases since I've been top, meaning record increases. We have never seen anything like it, and we're going to keep it going. That makes it a little bit easier for what we're doing. I guess maybe it also makes some people crazy because they don't want to see us do well. But we're the hottest nation anywhere in the world, and we were a dead nation 1 year ago. I say it all the time.
The hottest
we were a
nation.
Dead nation. Now we're the hottest nation in the world, and that's said too by every leader. One of the reasons that we have every country already signed up or just about to sign, every country in the world on this whole mess we have going over with Hamas in the Middle East and all of the things you see, is they respect our nation. A year ago, you wouldn't have been able to get it. You certainly couldn't have gotten it with Biden. You didn't know where the hell he was. But a year ago, you wouldn't have been able to have a situation like
Oh
this.
my
So
God, this
I
guy
just want to
hates
thank the
Biden.
people around this table, and certainly the officials around the table, because they've been incredible. They've been brave. And I watched yesterday, Pam, and I watched a little bit. I thought it was so good. I rounded up, and I watched it late in the evening because I thought you were fantastic yesterday. You really, look, you had some wonderful senators, some great politicians asking you very fair questions, and you had some real slime balls. But I thought you were amazing. So thank you very much. And Christy, thanks for the great job. Cash, thanks for the great job. Always my man back down there. He's the silent type, but he's a hell of a lawyer. Thank you.
You
all.
said a
We're
slur.
We're gonna get peace in the Middle East.
Slime
That's what we want
cyst,
to
I
do.
know.
Thank you very
What the
much.
fuck? That's gonna be a long video. That's gonna be a long video, Julio. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you sat through the whole thing, hats off to you, sir or madam. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. Hit a comment, put a comment that says, I watched the whole thing. I want to see the comments that say I watched the whole thing. I'm gonna read them. All right.